I can't believe we're back. Oh, I forgot my intro. Oops. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me here on Messy Girl Crafts. My name is Ashley. If you're new here, welcome in. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome home. Are you a new subscriber? Hello?
If you wake him up.
I'm sorry. I'm just so excited about this. Also, we have Mr. Crafts here. We have
Hello.
Mini Crafts here. What are we calling him? Little Crafts?
Junior Crafts?
Junior Crafts Junior?
Junior Crafts?
Little, you guys can tell us what he is. This is Eli. Hi. He very well may pop off because we are messing with his sleep right now. Hi, buddy.
You gonna sneeze? No? Okay.
He very well may. He is, what, 5 weeks old?
What day is today? Sunday?
Yeah.
5 weeks.
He's
Thursdays
gonna be 6
are
weeks.
his, like... Yeah, 6 weeks the Thursday after you see this.
The day after
so the day
you
after
see
you
this.
see this, guys.
Can you believe we have a baby? And he's so cute.
Yes, he is.
I am so in love. I can't even stand it. I cannot believe you guys are meeting him right now. Eli is like the best thing that's ever happened to us.
Yes.
100%. Like these last 5 weeks have gone so fast.
Very.
Like, you guys are seeing this on Wednesday. Eric goes back to work on Friday, and he got 6 weeks off.
I was supposed to go back to work on Thursday, the day after you see this, but I took the day off, and we'll get into that whole thing as we talk about
his story.
him.
Yes. There is almost too much information to share with you, so we are going to have to talk about this in stints. We figured we'd start today with this whip and chat. We are not going to be whipping because, baby.
The whip will most likely be a diaper change halfway through.
Yeah. So we will be working on
changing
his butt, and then coming back. No, but if he's chill, we'll keep going. But if he pops off,
actually, the whip is probably going to be changing him and feeding him halfway through this.
We have his whole. Again, I'm going to tangent a million times. I'm going to try my best. I took some light notes. Today's whip and chat.
That's a lot of bullet points. Light notes. That's a lot of bullet points.
It's less than normal. Listen, the goal today is to tell you guys the whole birth story, okay? And then maybe do like a little bit of diamond painting updates.
The whole birth story. So we're going to tell them what happens when a mommy and daddy love each other?
Okay. Stop. We're not going that far back. We are going back to maybe the Saturday before he was born. But before we dive in, again, birth story, some diamond painting stuff, and I do have an update about Mini DP Madness. We're filming this actually on March 1st, so happy Mini DP Madness, yay!
Oh yeah, it started.
Yeah, it starts today.
Listen, my days are blurring.
Literally, sometimes we have to actually check the calendar app on our phones to know what day of the week it is. Like it's.
I had to set a reminder to remind myself when I'm going back to work because I knew I would forget.
Yeah, honestly, I feel that, and I'm still off, so it's been a journey. Mini DP Madness does start today, which, again, for you guys, it's Wednesday, so you'll be a little bit into the week already. But I put a poll out before I went on maternity leave for my members, my channel members, to decide what mini kit I did for my bracket and for the event. And one of the options was letting chaos occur, which was letting Kovu, my cat, decide what happened. And he surely did choose chaos.
Yeah.
Don't tell them what it is.
Oh, no, I'm not. But, yeah, it was very chaotic.
It was chaotic. So
there was yelling about tables or something. I don't know.
You heard me down there?
I heard something about get off the table or get on the table or something. But chaos ensued.
There's a clip. We'll show it at the end. But, yeah, so we're going to talk about Mini DP Madness just like a little bit. And then we will try to squeeze in a question of the day. And we're going to try to do all of this in about, like, 2 hours.
Yeah, because he has to eat. We have to eat dinner.
Yeah.
And then we got to get him ready for the evening.
Correct. So anyways, okay, let's reel it in. I'm so excited that we're back. Let me just say I am nervous because we haven't been doing this in a while, and I hope that like the editing goes well. I mean, if you're seeing this, obviously it went fine, but like you know what it is like to like it's like riding a bike, you know, but it takes a minute. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I'm just
How long
like
has it been since I've ridden a bike? It's been a
I
long
don't
time.
know.
It's been a long time.
We have never ridden bikes together. We're getting sidetracked already.
That means I haven't ridden a bike since college. Now that I think about it.
Even then, you were riding a longboard.
No, but I rode the bike at one time when I had to get the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back. Okay.
Small brain.
So, oh my gosh, so I gave birth and my brain is now this big. I have the teeniest, tiniest brain. I thought it was tiny when I was pregnant. Now it is like microscopic brain. So Eli's birth story. Where we last left off with you all, I honestly should have watched that video before
Yeah, we should have
this.
played it downstairs.
We should have watched it, but we didn't. So we're gonna try our best to remember. I believe we were talking about the ECV, the external cephalic version.
Right.
And we were planning to do that, and my appointment was coming up, and we weren't sure if it was gonna work or not. Whatever. Right. I had stopped filming for YouTube maybe like 2 weeks before Eli was actually born. It was
Right.
like mid-January.
Right.
So there was still a lot of things going back and forth. So again, sorry if there's a little bit of disjointedness if you're going from that video directly into this one, but like we literally have not watched that video and it's been over a month and a half. So, basically the weekend before Eli was born. So Eli was born on January 22nd, 2026. The Saturday before he was born, we were going to go have dinner with our friends.
Yes.
And,
God, was that same week? Oh my God.
that literally all of that week was chaos leading up to his birth. It was
Oh my
like so
God.
many things happened. So that Saturday we were going to go to dinner with our friends, and it was like early afternoon. It like there wasn't a lot going on. We were having a really chill day.
Yeah.
And Eli was very regular normally about when he would kick me and when I would feel his movements. And I don't know what it was about that Saturday. I just felt off. I felt like he wasn't moving as much. I just felt like I didn't feel him in there like I normally do. And again, I just felt like every day, certain times of the day, he would be moving. And by 2 o'clock, which was usually his most active time of the day, I had maybe gotten 3 kicks out of him the whole day. And they were normal, like, strong kicks,
Right.
but there was only 3 of them. And, you know, they say if you feel decreased fetal movement, like, just go to the hospital. Don't even ask, whatever. So I think we called.
Well, yeah, they were like, if you feel decreased fetal movement, call the provider's office.
Yeah, so
And
it's a Saturday, so they're not open because it's like a 9 to 5
But they
office.
have an urgent care number.
That goes to like whoever's the doctor on
Right.
call or the midwife on call, whatever. So we waited through the messaging machine. The lady answered the phone and she was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, I'm kind of nervous because my son, he's due this month or next month, technically. February 3rd was
Yeah.
his due date. But I was like, you know, he's due soon-ish. Like, at that point we were about to go into week 38. We were still week 37. Right. I was 37 weeks pregnant, and I was like, I'm just feeling kind of decreased fetal movement today. This is the first time this has ever happened. Again, I'm sure so many of you moms identify with this feeling. Like, I felt silly. I was like, I'm being dramatic. This is probably fine, but something, the mama instincts in me was like, I feel weird. So she was like, well, we always want you to be safe than sorry. Come in. Use the emergency entrance to the hospital and we'll get you checked out. So I'm crying because I'm scared that I'm like being dramatic, or what if something like I was on both ends of the spectrum. I'm like, A, what if I'm being dramatic, or B, what if something's really wrong? And I was crying for both reasons.
Yeah.
So of course, my rock, he was like, relax, we're going. I don't care if we have dinner plans. I don't care what we're doing.
Yeah,
we're going.
I texted our friends and I'm like, hey, we're not going.
Yeah, he was like, we will not be there. So we went to the hospital and they checked me in. Meanwhile, we had scheduled my ECV procedure because remember, Eli was breech. So the external cephalic version was meant to flip attempt. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. He doesn't like to talk about the eviction. Don't move too much.
Brings up trauma.
Brings up trauma. So we were planning to do the ECV on Wednesday. So this is Saturday. Wednesday was the day before he was born, the 21st. That's when we had scheduled with my doctor to do the ECV. So Saturday we go to the hospital, we get checked in, they do all these things, they monitor him. They also notice like not a lot of fetal movement, but they basically decided that all of his vitals, they did like an ultrasound. They took like 45 minutes on the ultrasound.
Yeah, they did the ultrasound. They went ahead and hooked her up to the machine that lets them hear his heartbeat. His heartbeat
The two,
was strong,
like my
right.
heartbeat or contractions and his heartbeat.
Right, everything was strong, everything was fine. She wasn't having contractions. Like they were like, yeah, everything's good to go. He's just being lazy today.
Mm-hmm. So like literally, we were there for 3 hours. We didn't even leave the hospital until like 9 o'clock at night or something.
No, we got
or 7.
No, yeah, we got in. We went in at like 4. We didn't leave until I think 8.
It was late.
Yeah.
It was like we had been there for hours.
The only thing that was open not the only thing, but the fastest thing that was nearby that was open that we were like, let's go, was like a smoothie place.
And it wasn't even that good.
Right.
But we were just so hungry. But I was just so relieved that the doctors were like, he's fine, everything's great, whatever. But because they did an ultrasound, part of that was they measured his amniotic fluid. So making sure that he had enough, that wasn't decreasing, like making sure my water didn't break or anything weird. And I wasn't feeling any pain. I just felt decreased fetal movement. But they said he's probably, like, babies go through sleep cycles. As you get closer to delivering, sometimes they sleep more in preparation for that. Like, they were saying all these things, and they really made us feel better. But when they measured his amniotic fluid, the number that they gave us that day was 12.
Right.
Excuse me. So we didn't really know what that meant. Like, we were like, okay, cool. Like, they said everything was fine, so we moved on. Monday, so 2 days later, I had a doctor's appointment really far away from the house, and it was my final maternal fetal medicine appointment.
It was MLK.
It was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, yes. And so we scheduled the doctor's appointment at like 8 o'clock in the morning, like an hour and a half away from the house, because that was the only location that was doing these appointments that day.
That doctor's office has a dumb policy where when you start with one doctor, you have to stay with that doctor the entire time. You can't see someone else. So the office that's only 10 minutes away from us was like, no, you have to drive an hour and a way
to her,
right,
where she's in office that day, which is all the way far away.
Right.
So whatever. And it was a day off for both of us. Again, we're still working at this point. We're still like parental leave, whatever, because he's not here yet. So we decided to do it on Martin Luther King Day because we both had that day off of work. Everything's fine. I was like, you know what? It's better to just get it over with in the morning, and then we have our whole day to do whatever we want to do. So we drive out to the doctor. This is my final like growth scan, maternal ultrasound, like the big ultrasound where they take all the pictures and all that.
Right.
So we go down there, and they're measuring things, doing the ultrasound, taking pictures. They're pretty quick about it. May I preface this, and I think I might have told you guys my opinion about this doctor when I was doing videos before Eli came. I'm not a fan. We both are not fans of this doctor. She was terrible. She just had zero bedside manner.
Yeah.
This doctor was just rude and like very matter of fact in a not nice way. Like she would tell, like before when we found out that when I was like earlier in my pregnancy, Eli was already like 7 pounds or around there. She was like, oh, big baby, he's not going to fit in any newborn clothes. Well, joke's on you. He was in newborn clothes the day he was born, and he's still in some of them now to this day.
This is size 3 to 6. We're not going to get there.
This is size
3 to 6 months.
But that's also, I feel like that's missized. Anyway.
Probably. But.
So this doctor is just very much like, she's very like, she makes like little jabs and just things you don't say to hormonal pregnant women. She like really goes there. So we go all the way down, and she's basically saying like, because she was asking about like what our birth plan was, and I told her, I was like, well, we have an ECV scheduled for Wednesday, and if that doesn't work, we're probably going to schedule a C-section for week 39, and if it does work, we're going to try to schedule an induction for as soon as possible, so that way he doesn't have time to flip back. And she was basically poo-pooing on the ECV. She was like almost laughing at us, like, that's not going to work. Like, your ECV is not going to take, and that's like kind of a waste of time. And I was like, well, my doctor has like a 90% success rate, so I don't really want to hear it from you. I didn't say it like that, but like in my mind, I was like, I have no. She was like, do you have any questions? And I was like, not from you, you rude nugget. So whatever. So we left the maternal fetal medicine doctor appointment, and I was really upset because she was so rude about it and basically made me, because again, this is a full procedure. They had to give me an epidural. They treat it like you're gonna have a cesarean, God forbid, you know, something goes wrong in the procedure and they have to immediately emergency deliver. Like, I've never had a surgery. Well, I have now, but I've never had a surgery before, and I was scared and nervous, and she just really made it seem like I was about to go putting my body through all of this pain and effort for no reason, and like that was just really something I didn't need to hear at that moment, but she did that, so whatever. Side note, because they did another ultrasound on me, this is now 2 days after my ultrasound on Saturday. It was a 12, my amniotic fluid. Now it's a 10.
Right.
Okay. So still nothing to worry about. We don't know this information at this point as significant.
Right.
So then 2 days later, it's ECV day. Okay. So it's ECV day.
We're up at like 4 in the morning because we had to be
at the Did we even sleep? Or did we do the nap thing?
I think we did the nap thing, and then
we went to bed like super early, napped, woke up at like 3 or
just
midnight.
We made sure we got there in time because we had to be at
We're
the hospital.
We're afraid of falling asleep and never waking up.
Yeah, we had to wait. We had to be at the hospital at 5 because the procedure was at 7:30. They had to get her prepped. Like, it was a whole thing.
But because again, you have to prep as if you might give birth that day via cesarean. So I had to fast. I had to wash my body with this special cleanser, surgical cleanser.
Yeah, the
HIBA-Cleanse, whatever, like for 3 days prior to the ECV procedure date. Again, just as in preparation in case I was delivering, whatever. So we're doing all these things. We're doing what we're supposed to. It was actually really sweet. Tuesday night, we went out to Cheesecake Factory. It was like a date night. Like, oh, like what if like tomorrow's the day or whatever? And so it's like we didn't know. So we, anyways, we go. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. We check in, and they hook me up to all these like IVs. They start telling me like, you know, you have to answer all the questions again as if you're going to give birth. So they're asking me all the millions of questions. And then the tech comes in to do the ultrasound again. This is like another one because they want to make sure the baby didn't flip. Right. They are like, we don't want to give you an epidural and go forward with this procedure if the baby hasn't flipped. Yeah. So in my heart, I was like, this baby did not flip. If anything, he was fully sideways. Yeah, what is that called? Transverse?
Yeah.
He was transverse. So he was fully, his head was on one side of my body and his feet were on the other. I could feel it. Like I could feel that he was that way in my tummy. But when the woman came in to do the ultrasound, he was standing straight up. Yeah. Like head up here at the top of my belly, and then feet down, like whatever, straight down. Or really butt down, because he likes to have his feet up by his face. But whatever. He was like Frank Breach most of the pregnancy. So he was straight up and down like an arrow. And the tech kind of like does a couple things. I've had so many ultrasounds at this point. I'm pretty familiar with the clicking and what they're doing and what they're looking for and measuring at this point because I had to go get additional ultrasound throughout my pregnancy. So while I'm watching her measure the amniotic fluid pockets, the big black spaces that kind of indicates where the amniotic fluid is, I don't really feel, again, I am not a doctor nor a medical professional. I know nothing, but again, I've watched this be done so many times to me. I'm noticing she's really not like measuring the full black space, but I don't think anything of it. I'm like, maybe this is a different machine. Maybe she's whatever. She's doing clicking, measuring. She goes away. Then my nurse comes in and she's like, okay, like anesthesia is in the building, so we're gonna send him up shortly, whatever. And Eric and I, again, I haven't eaten.
Right.
It's what time? It was like 8 or 9 o'clock.
No. At this time, it was already 6:30 because
it was late.
It was supposed. Well, yeah, no, but it was supposed to be. We were supposed to start at 7:30. At this point, it was 6:30 that they were like, we're going to go ahead and get the results. We're going to send everything over to the doctor.
My doctor was late, too.
But they were going to send everything over to the doctor, and then they were going to send up anesthesia to go ahead and start talking about all that and start administering what she needed and all that stuff.
Because they had to do the epidural, which is essentially a catheter in your back with the epidural in it, so you're constantly getting the numbing medication. Right. So
7:30 rolls around.
Yes.
And anesthesia still hasn't come up. And at this point, we find out that they had called the doctor to tell her what the results were of the ultrasound.
And she said, wait.
And she said, don't send anesthesia up yet.
I want to talk to Ashley.
Right.
And we're like, okay.
So we asked her, we asked the nurse, when she tells us, like, what time is the doctor supposed to be coming in? And she said, she normally gets in closer to 8, so she should be in soon.
But she also said she had, they called her at her, like, on
her cell. They called her at home, on her cell.
She hadn't left her house yet.
Yeah, she was still making, like, her coffee and all that.
Yeah. I want to talk to her. So 9 o'clock rolls around.
Right. It's closer. It's like 8:45 at this point where she walks into the room.
So my doctor walks into the room and I'm like, "Hey, girl, I'm hungry. What's up?" she's my doctor's the best. I love her. Yeah. She's actually the one that ended up delivering Eli, and I'm so thankful that happened that way. But anyway, so I'm sitting there. I'm in the bed. I have fluids. Eric and I are just watching TV, and she's just like, she comes in and she's like, "Hey, so I want to talk about the ultrasound results a little bit." And I was like, okay. And she was like, talk to me about like your most recent doctor's visits. And I said to her, I was like, we went on Saturday and then it was a false alarm. And so we were fine. But then on Monday we had the other appointment and that went, and they said, he looks perfect. He's just a big boy. He was measuring at about like 8 pounds at that point or whatever. So, I was like, everything's been good, whatever. And she's like, okay, well, the ultrasound that the girl did today, your fluid is measuring 7.
Yes.
She stretched it to. She was like really at somewhere in the 5 to 6 range, because the problem is with an ECV, they don't really, if you don't have a lot of amniotic fluid space, they don't really want to do the turn because it could cause the baby extra stress, or if the umbilical cord is filling up a lot of that floating amniotic fluid space, the cord is more likely to wrap around the baby, cause issues, injure the cord, squish the cord so it's not feeding the baby. You know, it's just more cause for error if you don't have a lot of fluid space for the baby to be pushed in a circle. And so she was like, honestly, she was showing us the ultrasound results, and she's like, I'm looking at all these pockets and I'm just seeing your umbilical cord in all of these pockets. Like, I could say you had maybe a 7 if I stretched it, but really it's more like a 5. And if you have really low amniotic fluid, that's really bad for the baby too, because that's like what the baby's like drinking and whatever. It's like part of the whole baby process. So she's like, you know, normally if people are below a 5, I'm rushing them into the OR.
Right. And
for
we're delivering
cesarean
that day, like.
And we're delivering that day, and so now I'm scared, and I'm like, well, are you worried that he's not okay? Whatever. She's like, have you had any leaking, any fluids, da 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 da? And I'm like, nothing. I've not had any blood, fluids, discharge, anything. Sorry if this is a little graphic, but we're talking about having a baby, so hopefully you figured this was going to be part of the story. But I promise we won't get too crazy in the comments of what happened. So I was like, no, I haven't had any weirdness down there. It's been completely normal. I don't feel like he's dropped into my pelvis. I don't feel any sort of labor signs. I don't feel like I'm dilated. I don't feel anything other than just being pregnant. And so she was like, if you want to do it today, like, you can, but she was like, my personal recommendation is to not do it, because you know, the only person, she's only in her 26 years of this career, she's like, I've only had to have an emergency C-section for one person that I did an ECV on, and they had amniotic fluid numbers similar to yours, and in that woman's mind, she was willing to take the risk because she wanted to have the baby, and she's like, if I'm getting a C-section anyway, we might as well try to flip the baby, and if it turns out to be a C-section, let's just have the baby today. I very much did not want an emergency situation. Like, I didn't mind. I had come to grips about a C-section. But my whole fear was like something emergent was going to happen where he was in danger or I was in danger. Eric wouldn't be allowed to be in the room because it was emergent. And I was just like, I want calm, stress-free. Like, if it's going to go that way, I want it scheduled. I want to know. I want to mentally prep. Like, that was where my head was at. And I trust this doctor so much. And so I was like, if you don't believe in it, I don't believe in it. Because ECVs already have such a low success rate for first-time moms anyway.
Right.
So I was like, no. So she was like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pump you full of like 2 liters worth of saline.
They gave her,
two big bags.
2 liters of saline solution. They were like, we're going to pump you up with all the solutions, see if that does anything. The doctor's like, I don't think this is going to do anything, but it doesn't hurt to try, so we're going to do that.
And it was more so to see if the fluid dropped, because I had already had a scheduled like prenatal appointment with her on Thursday morning.
Right.
Or actually, it was Thursday afternoon, but we switched it.
We switched it around.
So she was already going to see me the day after my ECV procedure, whether it happened or not. And so she's like, I'm going to pump you full of saline. If the number is still super low, clearly there's a leak happening in your body or something's going on, and we very well could deliver tomorrow. And we were both like...
We were like, oh shit.
Oh my... Eric!
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, YouTube.
Sorry, YouTube. We were like, oh my gosh. So, we were like, wow, okay. And she's like, or like if your fluid, if it stays and your fluid numbers are good, or maybe she's like, this could be a tech error. And in my mind, I'm like thinking, I think this is a tech error, but whatever. She was like, this could be a measurement error and like whatever. So I was like, okay, that's crazy. So I was like, we went over the options with our doctor like 50 times sitting there with the nurse. I was like, okay, option. Because I was also trying to figure out when are we going to plan a C-section or an induction or another attempt at an ECV. Like I was trying to figure out all of the choices here. So I decided, I was like, I don't feel comfortable coming back for another ECV. Because she's like, if your fluid goes up, we could try to schedule another ECV next week or, you know, during week 39 and see, because I'm already at week 38 at this point. And she's like, we could try to schedule an ECV again next week and see. And I'm like, no, I'm already here. If we're not doing it today, if you think it's most likely going to end in a cesarean anyway, let's just do it. Let's just say we're going to do it because I just was like, you know, there's just really no point. The ECV, even if it is successful, like she was telling me that my pelvis, the size of my pelvis was like right on the like edge of what could be acceptable for his measurements.
And he was measuring big.
And he was already measuring big, so if we waited a whole other week, it's very possible that...
It would have been a C-section anyway.
It would have been a C-section anyway. So what would be the point of, like, giving me Pitocin, putting me through labor pain, to then cut me open anyway? So I was like, that doesn't sound fun. And that sounds very stressful, whatever. So I was like, I don't think I want to do the ECV anymore. Like, if you're not going to do it today, we're not going to do it. We're just going to call it what it is, and it's going to be a C-section. But tomorrow when I come back, again, because she was like, well... you could give birth tomorrow if your numbers are super low again, or we could try to schedule out for next Wednesday. So week 39 on the Wednesday, because that was the next time she was available.
I think what it was is that, like, if your numbers are below a 7, we're giving birth on Thursday. If it's between a 7 and 10, we're gonna have you come back on Friday to get checked again.
The 23rd.
Yeah, and then we'll go ahead and see if we deliver Friday. If it's above a 10, like
then next Wednesday.
Then we're gonna do next week.
So Eric and I were like, okay, so we went over these things with her like a million times. And then we were like, okay, so they discharged us. I didn't do the ECV, went home, and Eric and I were just like really talking about it. We were like, we could be having a baby tomorrow. Like, that is so crazy. And also, like, I didn't love the idea of like waiting to see if my fluid numbers dropped, because that could be negatively affecting him. And it was just, we just had lots of conversations about it. And we were like, why wait? Like, at this point, we don't want anything bad to happen. We don't want him to get any bigger to the point where, like, that could cause problems for me and my body, and just all these things. And so we kind of hyped ourselves up. Like, we went from being absolutely terrified of it happening on Thursday to being like, we want it to happen on Thursday.
Right.
Actually, I lied. I thought we had gone to Cheesecake before the ECV. No.
We went that night.
We went the night of the failed ECV because we were like, this could be our last night.
This is it.
It's kind of funny. We had planned, so the weekend after Eli was born, we didn't know. We had planned to have like a fully like romantic, like him
just
and me.
Us.
Just us. No friends, no family.
Yeah.
Just him and I spending quality time together before we became parents. And I think Eli was listening.
He was like, no.
He was like, actually... I'm going to make my grand entrance because I want to spend the weekend with you.
No.
I'm going to join the party early. So Wednesday night we go to Cheesecake Factory. We're having a great time. We're so excited. And now we're kind of like thinking, okay, now we have to convince them tomorrow that we want
the C-section.
And I even told my doctor on Wednesday when we were in the hospital, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to treat tomorrow like I'm having a C-section. So I'm going to fast again.
Right.
And she said, because I told her, I was like, I'm going to struggle, though, because our appointment isn't until, like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She's like, we'll call the office, we'll move it to 11 in the morning. Right. So we did that. So I fasted.
The appointment to do the ultrasound again was at 9, and then we were going to meet with the doctor at 11 because it was 2 hours. It was 2 hours to get everything done.
Yes, he's right. So they were like, we're going to do an ultrasound at 9 a.m. to see if your fluid has dropped or risen or whatever, and then I'll meet with you. The doctor's like, I'll meet with you at 11 and we'll talk about what happened.
Right.
And then blah blah blah. So we go we have Cheesecake Factory, we have a nice evening, go to bed, wake up, go to the doctor at 9 a.m. We do the ultrasound. I asked the ultrasound tech because now we know what we're looking for. So I'm like, what was my amniotic fluid number? And she was like, a 12.
Yeah.
I was like, gosh darn it, because like, okay, I'm sure some of you understand this, but like, you know when you psych yourself up for something and then it doesn't happen, and then you psych yourself up for it again, and then it like doesn't happen again, and you just keep doing that, and it like causes you like mental stress, and you're like freaking yourself out. Because like, again, I had never had a surgery other than my wisdom teeth taken out. Like, I was so nervous, number one, about having a giant abdominal surgery, but number two, about being awake for the whole thing. I'm like, this is crazy. And again, I was like trying to play it off cool as a cucumber. He's obviously super supportive. My family has been super supportive. His mom had 2 C-sections, and she was telling me all about hers, and I've done so much research and watched so many videos of births, cesarean births, vaginal births, whatever, all the births. I've watched so many videos at this point. So it's not for lack of knowledge. It's just genuine nervousness. I wouldn't call it fear. It was just a little bit of nervousness and excitement mixed in together into a cocktail that was brewing. So she tells us that my fluid is a 12. And remember, the doctor had said if it's under 10, we might consider Friday, but if it's over 10, we'll schedule for next week. And I just was like really disappointed. I was like, man, even when we left our house on Thursday, we were like, this is going to be the last time that we leave our house without a baby. We're going to be parents. Like, we really were like mentally putting ourselves in the space of like, we're having a baby tomorrow. We told all of our family, we told them not to come. We were like, okay, this is the plan. It could be tomorrow, it could be Friday, or it could be next Wednesday. We're going to call you after the doctor's appointment tomorrow to tell you exactly what the plan is, because we were going to know for sure on Thursday what was happening. So
no one listened.
No one listened, but we'll get to that. So 9 a.m. we have the ultrasound. We find out that I'm a 12. Then we have the 11 o'clock doctor's appointment, which actually she took us early at 10 because somebody showed up or didn't show up for theirs.
Right, someone was late for theirs, and she was like, well, if they're going to be late, then I'm going to take them first.
And we were sitting in the lobby because we didn't leave. We were like, well, I know the one is at 9 and the other one's at 11. But
we got done with the ultrasound at like 9:45.
We had an hour.
They were like, oh, you can go and come back. I'm like,
no,
that's dumb.
We were like, no,
I'll just sit here.
And it's a good thing we didn't leave because she took us early.
Yeah, she saw us at like 10.
So she takes us at 10, and we're like, we know it's a 12. And she was like, yeah. And she's like, so, and again, she doesn't really know what we're thinking at this point. I was like, what can I do to get this baby out today? Like,
right.
how can we as a team, the doctor, Eric, and I, how can we make this happen? And she was like, I am not legally allowed to deliver a baby at 38 weeks without there being a reason, like a medical reason.
And when we're doing all this, we're looking at Ashley's blood pressure because it's starting to fluctuate.
It's spiking. It's going up to like high, 150s.
Yeah, it was high, and then it was low, and then it was like in the middle.
And yeah, it like she took it like 3 or 4 times, and
she both arms.
Yeah, and she even said, she's like, we have to be careful because once you start taking it too many times, like you're causing it to.
Yeah, the blood pressure readings could start to go bad.
Right.
So, and then they had actually do the urine sample as well.
She's trying. So essentially, we told her like we were really sad that it wasn't going to be today, and we really wanted it to be today, meaning January 22nd. And what can we do? So she's like, well, I'm just going to start again, like kind of poking around in your medical records and your history, and today what your stuff is reading, and we're going to see if there's anything that might cause an issue for a delaying of the birth, whatever. So
right.
she took my blood pressure. It was all over the place. So she was like, well, that's already not a good sign, but like a sign a concern that might lead to something, whatever.
Later.
So she's like, you know what? I'm going to run some blood work on you because you had some high protein.
Yeah, they had found some protein in her urine sample,
mm-hmm.
and they were like,
from that day.
From that day, they were like, you've never had protein in your urine.
Never.
Something might be up. Let's go ahead and
run the blood work.
Yeah, we're going to do some blood work. Instead of you going to Quest and having to wait for Quest to do it, we're going to do it
to the hospital.
Yeah, she's like, we're going to take the blood work here, and then I'm going to send it to the hospital to have the labs run it as an emergency.
So it's fast, and so we were like, okay. So she did the blood pressure thing. She's like, your blood pressure is crazy. Then she then they took my blood, and she's like, okay, you guys go home.
Right.
Continue to fast. Don't do anything crazy. Just relax. And we will call you we'll call you one way or the other, whether you're coming back or we're scheduling you for next week.
Right.
Whatever. Because it wasn't going to be Friday at this point.
No, yeah, it was already going to be next week.
I know, Angel. So, we go home. We're kind of driving home disappointed because, again, we were like, the next time we come home, we're going to have a baby. And
right.
This whole thing, whatever.
My dad and my stepmom had already driven up that morning.
We told them to wait. We were
and
like,
were
our
like,
appointment ends at at the time we thought, we were like, our appointment is at 11 a.m. Please wait. We'll call you. And then, because they live 4 hours away in South Florida. So we were like, wait for us. And is he okay?
Yeah, no, he's good. Okay. He's stretching.
He's stirring. I mean, it is close. It's
close
to feeding time. We might pause before we actually talk about him like coming out. But anyway, we'll go as far as we can but he's good. As you can see, he is now being fed.
It's feed time.
He honestly though, it was the diaper that set him off.
Yeah,
he had a poopy and a pee-pee diaper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then he was mad that we changed his butt. So then we gave him his look at his.
Excuse me, sir.
He's like,
you need to finish this.
He's already having 4 ounces every feed. He is a growing boy.
He's already over 11 pounds.
Yeah,
easily. I mean, when we went to his last doctor's appointment was
10 and
last
15,
Thursday.
10 pounds 15 ounces. They were like, he's a sneeze away from 11, and then he's 11 for sure.
At the rate he's going,
12.
Yeah, at the rate he's going, he's 11.
Anyways, so where we left off before we had to cut to give him his bubba. So we told his parents, specifically his dad and his stepmom. We were like, the appointment for the doctor is at 11. Don't start driving because we don't know if it's going to be today. Wait till we call you and say it's today or it's not today, whatever.
Right.
Well, his stepmom, Michelle, got so excited that they left at 8 o'clock in the morning and they were already 30 minutes away.
Yeah, and this is when we were already going home after being told by the doctor.
Work. Yeah,
right.
The doctor was like, you're going to do blood work. we're going to send it over to the super lab. We're going to call you, go home, and we'll call you to come back. And the hospital's really close to our house, so it wasn't a big deal. So we're driving on our way back to the house. We're calling. We get home. We're starting to call everyone. Oh, because again, there's 8 grandparents, 4 sets of grandparents, all of our friends and family, whatever. So we're calling everybody. He tells them, they're like, LOL, we're 30 minutes away. It doesn't matter. We'll get a hotel. We don't know what's happening. And we felt really guilty because we were like, it doesn't sound like it's going to be today. Like, it would take a miracle for it to be today.
Right.
So we're calling everybody. The last person I call is my best friend, Cynthia. And I'm like, hey, girl, just an update.
And we're home at this point.
We're home. We're sitting on the couch.
Yeah, we had told my dad and my stepmom, just come to the house. We'll all get lunch together.
We'll all get lunch together because I thought I was going to break my fast. I had been fasting this whole time.
We were anticipating not going back.
Correct. And so, because they were like rolling up to like Panera, whatever, and we were like, just come back to the house, like whatever. So we call my friend Cynthia. We tell her it's probably not going to be today, but we'll keep her posted. Right as Eric hangs up with Cynthia, my phone rings and it's the hospital or the doctor's office, and she was like, "Hi, I need to speak to Ashley, whatever." And I'm like, "Yep, this is me." And she's like, "Dr. McKendry wants you to come back right now. You're having your baby today."
Yeah.
We were like, we
started freaking out.
We were like, so, I can't even. Nothing will have been more joyous than the day I saw 2 lines on that pregnancy test.
Right.
But dang, that was close. Dang, that was close.
We were freaking out. We were screaming, hugging each other. I was
crying. Yeah. I was like, I'm having a baby today. And let me just say, before we keep going with the story, that was such a significant moment for me because, like, having a C-section, it's planned normally. Normally, a C-section is planned. You know when your baby's coming. It's going to be at 7:30 in the morning on this day. Like, it's kind of. I mean, obviously, childbirth is magical in general, but like, it takes that like.
I think he's looking at you in the camera.
Is he really?
When his eyes were open, he was looking at the screen.
Are you looking at Mama? He's the best. Anyway, so like, there's just like. It's still exciting, but like it takes a little bit of the mystery and the excitement of the unknown away, and the fact that we woke up that morning being like, we want to have a baby today.
It's happening today.
And then we go to the doctor and they're like, it's probably not going to happen today. It's probably going to happen next Wednesday, a full week later. We were going to have to drag it out.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster of emotions.
Literally all within 4 hours, and then the doctor's office was like, she wants you to come back right now. Like, she sounded kind of affirmative, like come urgent. Back, and meanwhile we were like, wee. So I don't know exactly what they found in my blood work, but I guess the protein.
So we found out later on. Yeah, we found out later on after she had already done the C-section and everything that the doctor was like, when we ran your blood work, you had failed the protein test. I don't know what that means.
Whatever that means.
I don't know what that means, but the doctor was like, you failed, so we had to give birth today.
And again, like Dr. McKendry, my doctor, she was never going to do something she wasn't allowed to do. Like, she was never going to force, like, a C-section if she couldn't find a reason. But she was like, I'm going to try to look under every rock to try to find a reason. And she found a reason, and it was legitimate. And she was like, we're giving birth to this baby today. And I was just like, let's go. So I immediately called my best friend back, and I was like, just kidding, it's happening right now. He's calling all the family. Yeah,
I'm calling
his mom.
Yeah, I call my dad as we're walking out the door, and
just kidding, turn around.
Yeah, I'm like, go to the hospital. They just called us. Go to the hospital.
They were screaming.
They were screaming in the car. I hung up on them to go ahead and call my mom and my stepdad.
It was so exciting.
Yeah, and I was like, it's happening now. We're anticipating. We're going to the hospital right now. Like, it's happening right now.
And they still were in South Florida, 4 hours away.
Yeah.
But his stepmom and dad were already like literally. They beat us to the hospital.
Yeah, they beat us there.
They were there at the front entrance screaming and waving at us, and it was hilarious and amazing. So I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, it's happening, because she was anticipating a phone call from me saying if it was going to go one way or the other. And I called her, I was like, Mom, go to the hospital. It's happening right now, whatever. And she was like, ah! So we're all freaking out.
Ooh,
did you finish your Bubba?
No,
no, you didn't.
Yeah.
He needs a mid-Bubba burp.
He needs a burp. A little burpee.
A little burpee.
Sitch.
Are you going to burp for the family?
Oh,
the babies.
Oh, I know.
It's so hard being you. Do you want me to take his little his clippy?
He's fine. He's fine.
He's good. Okay. There's a hair on it. Kovu's hair is all over this baby.
Everything.
Kovu loves this baby, and his hair is all over him.
When he tolerates it.
Can you just turn so they can see his face? Oh, the eyes are rolling back in his head. Okay. Anyways, so Everyone is freaking out and like rushing to the hospital, including us. We get to the hospital and his stepmom and dad are standing at the entrance of the hospital. He drops me off and he goes to park the car. We're like hugging, crying, screaming. I wait for Eric. He comes up. We go inside. We check in downstairs. We took a couple pictures with his parents because they were there. And then we all go upstairs and we go behind the double doors. And
well, no, we go to check in and they're like, go see registration, please. So we go over and wait in the lobby to go see registration.
Oh,
the lady at the registration calls us back and she's like, "So why are you here?"
She's like, "What you doing here? I don't see any procedures for you." And I was like, "We just got told to come back. We were at the office and we got told to come back to the hospital because we're delivering today for a cesarean." And she was like, she called the nurses station in labor and delivery, and they were like, we're literally actively putting in the order right now. And
the
she was like,
signed.
you drove faster than the order. And I was like, yes we did. So we went, we registered, we got upstairs. I went into pre-op, which took like 2 hours.
It took 2 hours because of him.
Oh,
so originally the cut time was 3:30. 3:30.
You want more, Bubba?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to him. The cut time was 3:30. That was when it was scheduled for it, and part of it was that we had to go ahead. They had to have a thing to find his heartbeat, like what they had done on Saturday, to find his heartbeat, check her contractions, and all
every
that.
time you're in the hospital pregnant, they always put the monitors on you to check his heartbeat and your stuff.
Someone, once they would get the good heart rate going and they were able to get a good read, someone would move.
He would flip
it
sides.
Took four,
still head up the whole time.
It took 4 nurses, including a prenatal nurse, like what is it?
Like a super doctor.
No, what's the ones that go into the NICU? The NICU nurses, whatever.
A NICU
NICU nurse to find him, to be able to get a good read on his heart rate, to make sure he was still there.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's what took so long, and plus because we had to keep having all these people come in. The nurse that was doing all the pre-op stuff for Ashley, Debbie or something. I don't remember her name.
I don't remember anyone's name. She
kept losing track of where she was in the pre-op questions. So we had to keep going in and be like, okay, wait, we asked this one?
There's it's probably healthcare wide. Labor and delivery units need to get better about staggering people because
everyone came in.
From pre-op to surgery, to post-op, to us going home, there was at least 4 people talking to me at the same time at all times.
Yes.
Like, I don't think I ever had a conversation with one singular hospital employee at a time.
Yeah.
It was insane. Like, literally, pre-op, she's asking me, she's like, "Does your husband beat you?" And then meanwhile, this other girl was like, "Put out your arm, I'm going to put in your IV." And then this other guy's like, "Hi, I'm the anesthesiologist." And I'm like,
he's like, "Hi, I'm the anesthesiologist. I got my nursing degree from USF."
And I was like, "Let's go." So anyway, it was crazy. It was like so surreal. I'm trying to answer her questions. I'm trying to listen to what they're what they're about to do to me because they're explaining like the surgery.
Right.
Which again, I understand most of it, but I was very interested to hear about the anesthesiologist because I was no longer getting an epidural. I was getting a spinal. I don't know all of the details, but the main thing that I know is different is that epidural is a catheter that stays in your back and continuously feeds you medicine, whereas a spinal, they go a little bit further into your spinal column to give you the medication, and it's a one-time shot, and it numbs you, and there's nothing actively in your back, like you're not open, there's no catheter.
Yeah.
So, like, it will wear off eventually, which we'll get to that. Nothing bad happened, but it was, like, crazy how science works. So anyway.
During all this pre-op stuff, we still haven't eaten. So her nurse is doing the pre-op, looks at me and is like, "Have you eaten today?" And I'm like, "No, we were planning on eating together." All I had was my dad and my stepmom had a beef jerky stick, a protein.
A chomps.
Yeah, the chomps in their bag, and I took one as we're running into registration to go upstairs.
He thought about it. His dad was like, "Do you want a chomps?" And he was like, "Yes," and he grabbed it
and ran, and I ate it on the way into registration, so we can go ahead and go up to to.
And again, I couldn't have liquids or food, whatever. And again, I honestly wasn't that hungry. I was so thirsty.
Yeah. So the nurse goes ahead and she's like, "Do you like Pepsi or do you like ginger ale?" I'm like, "Pepsi's fine." She goes ahead and gives me 2 cups of food. Yeah. I'm not talking about like soup or anything. I'm talking about like she loaded up with like Oreos, Nutter Butters, a turkey sandwich, a salad, fruit,
stuff.
all this random stuff. And she's like, go out into the lobby, go be with the family, and eat. We'll call you when it's... She has her cell phone, so she'll call you when it's time for you to come back to go into surgery. I'm like, okay. So I go out the lobby. It's 2 double doors. Her mom, her stepdad, my stepmom, and my dad are all looking at me through the doors. And I know that it's her... I know that it's her mom who has the phone up against the door because all I see is a pink square.
That's my mom.
And they're looking at me, and they're like... They're looking at me through the thing, like
what are you doing?
Like, what are you doing? And I get out there, and they're like, why are you here? Did she give birth already? I'm like, no. They gave me food, and they told me to come out here to eat it because they want me to eat before we go back there. And they're like,
and they were like, from my half of the experience, like, they're just asking me more questions. So they put in one of the IVs in this hand successfully. So they had an IV in my hand, but then because my blood pressure was so crazy, they wanted an emergency site for a second IV in case this IV blew and they needed to give me medication. So also, spoiler alert, they never used the second IV, and it was literally so they ended up putting it right here in my arm. You can't even tell now on my arm. The bruising. I looked like I had gone 6 rounds with Mike Tyson just on this arm because they could not for the life of them figure it out. And they even had to use like a vein ultrasound to try to find where to stick this needle, and it was crazy. I can't believe how well my skin recovered because it literally looked like my arm had gotten beat up. But anyways, so I'm getting IVs put in me. He's out there with the family freaking out.
So then her mom goes back. I think your mom goes back to see you for a minute. She comes back out.
She was with me when they were trying to do the IVs.
Right. She comes back out, and I'm in the middle. I'm finished my sandwich, and I'm eating like the Oreos that they gave me. My mom called her mom. Her mom is handing me the phone. A nurse casually happens to walk out, go to the elevator, and she's like, oh yeah, by the way, they're getting ready to take her back. You should probably go back there. I'm shoving Oreos into my mouth, telling Mom, I gotta go, and I'm running back to the room. And they told me, so he left me my phone, and they were like, you can call him when we're about to take you, to tell him to come back in here. And so I was like, okay. And so we were waiting for a while. Yes. We were waiting for a minute for my doctor to show up because she had patients that day to see in the regular clinic. And she was also the on-call doctor.
So meanwhile, I hadn't seen her since 11 o'clock that morning when she told... What is he?
He was just super drunk.
Oh, I mean, he needs a burpee.
Yeah, twisty twist.
Twisty twist.
Give a little twisty twist.
Get all that air out. You're so docile when you eat. Me too, honestly. By the way, if I thought pregnancy hunger was real, breastfeeding hunger is realer. Yeah. But anyways, so...
Ooh, I got a good one right there.
So she was like, oh yeah, we'll give you your phone and then whatever. So my doctor comes in and she's like, hey girl, we're gonna have this baby today. And I was like freaking out. I was like, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for whatever you did. And she was like, you failed your protein test. She was like, it was so easy for me to call you back because we need to, it's better safe than sorry. She's like, it's not emergent, but why risk it?
Yeah. So I'm running down the hall. As she's seeing her doctor, they start taking off all the locks in her bed.
They're wheeling her
out. And I had clothes, the suit that I had to put on, the bunny suit they called it.
The hat, the bunny suit, the booties.
So I'm putting all that on.
Did you have gloves on? No,
I didn't have gloves on. But I had to take off my shoes to put it on. So I took off my shoes, put the bunny suit on, started putting my shoes back on. I'm hopping on one foot, putting on my shoe and putting on the foot slippers, the covers that they give me, chasing behind them, hopping on one foot. To go ahead and be with them. There's video of this.
I will see if my mom can send me the video, and I can.
It's probably in the group chat somewhere.
I'll try to see if I can download it.
Oh, they're taking her out. She's waving. She's waving. Okay.
My mom, because they were literally anytime we were not with them, which was the majority of the time, they were glued to the glass down the hallway.
Oh my god, it was hilarious. You should see if you can find that picture.
There's a picture of his stepmom and my mom literally like this up against the glass waiting for us. I'll include all of these things so you guys can see it.
Yeah.
And I think David got a video of them wheeling my bed down the hall. I had a scrub cap on. And I'm waving because I can see them in the window. It felt like we were the only people there.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden...
Nobody else was in the waiting room or anything.
Yeah, and then you just see me waving my scrub cap in the background,
and he's hopping behind my bed. And so we go into the OR and they make him stop. Oh. So they let me in and they were like, do you want us to wheel you in or can you walk? I was like, I can walk. I'm cool. So they let me out of my bed. I walk into the OR. Eric stays in the. You sat in a chair. Why did they make you stay out there?
Because they needed to do your spinal first before I went in.
I never understood why they make the dad not be there for the epidural or the spinal. It's just weird to me.
But they literally had like a metal folding chair in front of all the heaters for all the towels and blankets that they used during surgery. Dying? It was super warm, but
he was in a suit.
I was in a bunny suit and everything. Sweating. But they were like, okay, you have to wait here, and then we'll call you in. Meanwhile, in front of me, it's like a sliding glass door because they want to keep it sterile, so no one has to touch anything. It's a sliding glass door. It keeps opening up because people keep walking in front of it. So I'm watching all this happen, anyways.
Right.
So I'm like, why
every
am I
time
just
the doors
there?
open, I'm like waving at him, and then they close, and then it'll open again, and he's like in his suit. I'm like, so so they let me go in. And they have me sit on the edge of the OR table. Like, I have to get up on a step stool, and I sit on the edge of the OR table. And there's this really nice nurse in front of me. And she's like, you can squeeze my hand, you can hug me, you can hold me. Here's a pillow to hold on to while they're giving you the spinal, whatever. Again, this is the part that I'm super nervous about, right? Like, I don't care about the IVs. I don't care about the pre-op questions, all that. Now we're getting to the surgery, so I'm just like the anxiety and the nerves and the excitement is all getting to me, and I'm like, I'm literally about to have my son. Yeah. Like, I'm about to have my baby. So they sit me on the edge of the table. They say, make your, arch your back like an angry cat, and she pokes me to, give me the shot, and it literally doesn't hurt, but just that poke sensation, I just go whoop, whoop, and then she's like, that's okay, just go right back into the angry cat, and I did. And they did the thing. I'm not going to go into detail, but they successfully gave me the spinal, and everything was fine. I was talking to the nurse in front of me about her tattoos. She had a bunch of really cool Avengers tattoos, and so we were just talking about tattoos. And I was like, my husband loves tattoos, and blah 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 blah. We were just talking. She was distracting me. It was great. But then we got back to the point where I had 17 people talking to me at the same time, which was terrifying because I was about to go into surgery. So everybody was saying something super important, and I was really trying to listen to all of them. And I was like, I just would love my husband to be here. So anyway, this is kind of funny. They lay me on the table, right? Because once they put the spinal in, they have to lay you down immediately because it starts working, right? And your legs start to go. So they lay me down. I'm on the table. They put your arms out, but they don't strap your arms down. They just put your arms out, straight outside like this. And you have handles to hold on to for balance if you want.
Oh.
What? Just let him chill.
He was giving a smile, though.
Oh.
So something's brewing.
Oh, great. We'll probably have to break again for a potty break, but for now he's fine. Anyway, so they lay me down, and they, I'm telling them, I was like, I can still wiggle my toes. They're like, give it 5 minutes.
Give it a minute.
They're like, give it a minute, whatever. And so they give it some time, and then they take this, it kind of felt like a toothpick. They took a toothpick sort of thing, and they were scraping up the side of my body and my legs. They're like, do you feel this? Do you feel this? They had a little alcohol wipe, and they were like, do you feel wet and cold here? Wet and cold? And I was like, yes, no, yes, no. Finally, they were like, okay, try to lift your leg. And I was like, nope, that's not happening. I'm not. So I was numb, literally, from right under my chest all the way down to my toes, and I could not feel anything. No tingling, no nothing, no pain. Literally, up to that point, the thing that hurt the worst throughout the entire experience was this IV, the one that they put in this arm that they blew all my veins out for because they were just not getting it. But yeah, so I was laying there. They were like, great. They put up the big blue curtain. And then, actually, right before they put up the big blue curtain, this was the part that was funny. So I'm laying down. They're like, okay, they say tilt. Boom. They tilt my table back. So now my head is lower than my feet. And again, I can't feel my feet or my legs, but obviously I can feel the table going backwards. And the way that they tilted me put me at such an angle that the big OR light right above my body, which was in the sky, it was reflective, and I could see my whole nether region area. And I was like, please tell me that I'm not about to watch my cesarean because I will faint. And they're like, no. And they pulled up the blue curtain, and I couldn't see anything. And I was like, oh, thank God. It was hysterical. The way that they had me tilted, I literally was looking straight up in the sky, staring at my, area. And I was like, no, I can't see. I was like, that can't happen. And they were like, no, the curtain's going to go up. So they put up the curtain, and I couldn't see anything anymore. And that was hilarious. So then, Eric, I'm laying there, and I'm like, when are they going to bring in Eric?
Right. So then at this point, the doctor was outside while they were still getting hers ready, talking to me. But we were just,
she was talking to you?
We were just, talking,
She's
talking
so
small
great.
talk, whatever. She was great. Dr. McKenzie was here. We were just talking small talk, whatever. She was telling me about how she has to get an MRI done on her shoulder and how it's so funny with the insurance industry, how it was cheaper for her to just pay for it out of pocket than have it go through the insurance.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. And we were just talking there, and they signaled for her to go in, and she's like, okay, so she washes her hands, she gets all sterile, she puts all the dressings and everything off, and she walks in, and then like a minute later, they have a nurse come out and get me. And they're like, okay, you can come in. You're going to go right over here to her head, and you're going to sit down right next to her. And I'm like, okay. As I'm walking in, I am seeing the doctor's arm go like this across Ashley's stomach. And I'm like, oh, it's happening.
It's like usually. I thought that like the dad was usually sitting behind the curtain before they started the operation.
As I walked in, she was already cutting.
You didn't see anything.
I didn't know. There were so many nurses around it. All I saw was the arm movement, and I immediately knew. I was like, oh, they're cutting.
You were like, do not look at that.
Yeah.
So he sat down at my head. And it was funny, while I was in pre-op, while I was by myself, my mom had already left me and he was out there eating his little, like, panic snacks. I was, like, hyping myself up about the surgery, and I was like, what will make me relax? And so I was like, I think I want to make, like, a short little playlist. I know that the surgery doesn't take a lot of time. Usually by the time they cut you, the baby's out in, like, 15 minutes.
Right.
And then it takes a long time, not a long time, but, like, it takes more time for them to, like, sew you back up. So I made, like, a playlist of, like, 10 to 15 songs just because I felt like music would keep me calm in the moment, and I had it on my phone on Spotify. And so he had my phone, and
I had both phones in my hands because the bunny suit had no pockets.
Right, so he's like this. So he put my phone by my head playing my playlist, and then he had his phone ready for like pictures when they told him he could go back behind to the warmer.
To go to the warmer and all that.
And so the curtain was it was this close to my face, and so I asked him, I was like, can we like just, I don't want to see anything, but can you just push the curtain a little bit back? So they taped the curtain to my chest so that it was like this much space extra in front of my face. And so I was laying flat. I couldn't see Eric, but I was like, I want the curtain back a little bit. I asked them to open up the top of my gown because I just didn't want to feel choky and suffocating. You know, like I'm not, what is that called? Claustrophobic. I'm not claustrophobic, but in that moment I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm having like I was just like trying to like calm myself. So I was like, I need this. I like need to breathe in my neck area. I need the curtain not in my face, and I just wanted his hand on my shoulder, on my skin. Like I was like, just touch my shoulder. Like I want to feel that you're behind me, and I want my music, and I want my chest exposed, so I'm not like feeling choked by my gown. They had to put a little oxygen thing on me, but like my oxygen levels were fine. Right. It was just like preventative. And then they had this blood pressure cuff on my arm that was like a super blood pressure cuff, and it squeezed you extra tight, and it went off every 5 minutes. And it sucked. But it was fine because I was so in the moment I didn't feel it, but I had bruises on my arms after because they were like squeezing me so tight. At one point, actually, after the surgery happened, she had switched arms because she was like, "Oh yeah, you're bruising," and I was like, "Yeah, could you? I can't feel my right arm anymore. Maybe that's a problem." But anyway, so he's behind me. Like I don't even know. We weren't even really talking.
No, it was just me telling you that you're doing great. Everything's going great. Whatever.
That is like a surefire way to send me. I'm like, whenever someone's like, "You're amazing. You're doing a good job." Whatever. Like I just immediately burst into tears. So I'm trying to like stay calm. And I was like, I just need to know that you're there. Yeah. And everything's fine.
And then all of a sudden they're like, "Okay, you're gonna feel a big push. You're gonna feel a big tug.
A big push or tug.
No, it was a big tug.
Whatever, big tug.
Yeah, you. They're like, you're gonna feel a big tug, and then she's like. Ashley's like, is it done?
I was like, I don't feel, where is it? I don't feel the tug. And then they're like, he's here.
He's here. And we're like, he's here? And they're like, yeah, you don't hear him? And then he starts crying.
Well, because I was like, is he crying? Is he crying? Because they were like, he's here. Because I didn't feel the big tug or release or whatever that they were there. Because the anesthesiologist was in my other ear like, okay, this is the part, like, you might feel something. Because, again, they try to make you not freak out because you don't lose all sensation, you just don't feel pain. So she wanted me to be prepared to feel like pulling and tugging. Guys, I don't know what they put in my spinal. I didn't feel nothing. Not even nothing. So they said that. She was like, you're going to feel a tug. I was like, what tug? They were like, he's here. We were like, what? I was like, is he crying? They were like, you don't hear him? He bursts into
He starts crying loudly.
We were gone. We were crying, and we were just so happy, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then they called time. They were like,
oh my God.
Eric
They called the time, and the anesthesiologist, they asked for the time. Yeah, and the anesthesiologist yells out 4:31. I'm like, no, I had my phone in my hand because I was ready to take pictures, and I look at my phone, and it's 4:32. I'm like, no, it's 4:32. And she's like,
no, it's 4:31. He was like, no.
Yeah, I show her my phone. I'm like, no, it's 4:32. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, 4:32.
And so I was like, of course, Eric had to like correct the doctor about what time my son was born. So literally like they were like 4:32, and they took him to the warmer, and they were doing stuff, and like Eric was we were just emotional. We were crying and just like talking.
And then they called me over to go start taking pictures of him. I was just nonstop pictures,
just clicking,
and
he peed on the nurse.
Yeah, he peed on the nurse while he was in the warmer, which was already starting a trend.
I was like, that's honestly. Yeah. On par.
Yeah, it's already starting a trend with him.
Yeah.
So he peed on the nurse. They weighed him. He was 8 pounds 5 ounces. He was 19 3/4 inches. Like he was a big boy. Full head of hair, screaming.
Literally as much hair as he has right now. Like you guys saw the pictures. He was born with it. Like it was just so delicious and beautiful from day one.
What were those old Maybelline commercials? Maybe he was born with
maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah, no, he was born with it.
No, he was born with it, kids. It could be a Gerber baby, okay?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, so Eric's over at the warmer taking pictures, whatever, and I'm like telling him, like, tell me about him, tell me. He's like, he's so beautiful, whatever. And like then now they're all just talking, and he's like, he peed on the nurse, and I'm laughing. Yeah. And I'm like up behind the curtain, still like by myself, and I'm like, okay, can I have my baby now? Like literally 5 minutes had gone by. I was like, can I hold my baby, please?
They wrapped him because I wanted
the skin to skin.
Right, they wrapped him in a blanket. They exposed him a little bit so he could have skin to skin. They didn't even like pull the curtain down for her or anything. No. They just plopped him on, almost onto her neck.
Right on my, like right up on my chest, like right here.
And they're like, Dad, hold him.
Like hold him so he doesn't roll off of her. And I was like, can I move my arms? They're like, yes, you can like also kind of like try to, because again, I'm laying like this. So I have my hand behind his head. Yeah, you. And they were like, yep. And so they plopped him on my chest. And because he was so close to my face, all I could see was his little eyeball, and because they put the hat on him, so I just saw his cheek and his eye, and I was like, oh, baby boy, I love you so much. I was like, you have the cutest eyeball I've ever seen, because I couldn't see his whole face. And then I'll pop up, this is my favorite picture, I'll pop up this picture of the three of us when they put him on my chest, and it was our little family moment. It was our first family photo. It's beautiful, and it was just the most amazing experience. They left him on me the entire time. They never took him off me while they sewed me up.
Right. Well, no, they I think they had to take him off of you to get his weight, because they didn't get his length. Because they didn't get his length, they had him in the
brought him right
first.
back. Right. Like, they did it, and like, there was not like a, okay, like, Dad, you go to the recovery room, and we'll just stitch her up. Like,
we all left together.
We left together. He left, like, he was with me.
Right.
And then the moment we got into the recovery room, I started being able to wiggle my toes. That was crazy. I was like, talk about
timing.
I was like, that is insane, because again, this was not an epidural. They couldn't keep pushing meds in me. If my stuff wore off, they would have had to re-inject me somehow. I don't want to know how they would have had to do that, because my back was on the thing. So I was like, but literally, like I got back into recovery. They immediately started getting me to breastfeed with him, and I could wiggle my toes. And I was like, I just had a baby.
Yeah.
I was like, I just had a baby. And we were just like talking about it, and we were just like looking at him and whatever, and he was just so perfect. Right, Papa? Oh my gosh, did you see the little smile? Hi. You're so perfect.
He is milk shrunk right now.
It's the perfect version for you to meet him, honestly. He's a really good baby, though. Well, and again, I can't deviate because we'll have to talk about it in future Whip and Chats, but these past 5 weeks have been
wild.
Perfect and wild.
Yes.
He is such a good baby. Anyway, so he was born. We got him to latch. I was breastfeeding. That was going really well.
Right.
He was like, do you want your mom to come back? And I was like, yes, go. I want you to go talk to the family and check in on them.
Right.
So he went out and talk about how that was.
I walked out of the double doors. My mom was sitting, because the way that the lobby was done, because at this point, it was crazy. Before we went to the pre-op, I was tracking my mother, and I was like, oh wow, my stepdad is really hauling, because he's already made pretty much 2/3 of the trip in an hour and a half. It's a 3.5 hour trip.
Yeah.
Like,
they hauled.
They were hauling. So after she'd given birth and we were in the recovery room and they were like, okay, because at first when they were like, for the first 30 minutes it's only dad, baby, and the mom. No one else can come in except for like the medical staff
and the lactation specialist.
Right, those are the only ones that can come in. Mm-hmm. And we were like, okay, so after that 30 minutes, they're like, okay, dad, if you want to go out there and like talk to the family, you can. Yeah. So after I talked to her, she was like, go. So I walk out. There's 2 double doors. And the way they have
like
the lobby,
double doors, and then a second set in front of them.
Right.
Like for
the
extra...
way they have the lobby worked in this particular hospital is that like you walk out a little bit, and then there's like an alcove to the right where all the chairs are, and
like the seating area,
right,
whatever.
They have like low back chairs that are like the C's. Facing towards the other couches and all that. My mom was sitting in one,
like leaning back,
right? And she leaned back and saw me walking through it, and like got out and like immediately ran to me and was screaming and
like
hugging
jumped
me.
on you.
Yeah, I had to carry her. I carried her out the double doors. She was.
I wish I could have seen that.
I know. Yeah, I carried her out the double doors, and like the family was all asking about him. I was like, he's perfect. He's amazing. This is how much he weighed. He peed on the nurse. The whole thing. They all started laughing.
He had asked them, "You, Papa."
Oh, he's pooping. I can see.
Amazing. Yeah. Honestly, we celebrate bowel movements in this house now.
Yes,
it's very strange. But he asked if they wanted to see photos of him because they were there. So it's like, do you want to meet him first, or do you want to see some photos? And they broke down.
Yeah, they were like, "Let's show us the pictures." So I showed them the pictures. They all immediately started crying. They were loving it. And then that's when I told your mom to go back.
Yeah.
She went back there and was with Ashley.
She was sobbing. I mean, and I get it, like her baby had a baby. I had never had a surgery before, so she was super emotional. So she came in, she was the first one that got to meet him, and it was just me, her, and him, and like we had a special moment. And so, she was just in there with me while I was still like getting the hang of like latching and breastfeeding and stuff.
She then was the one that went with Ashley when they moved her to her regular recovery room.
We weren't even in there for like 20 minutes. She wasn't back with me that long.
No, because by the time me and you had like talked to everyone and gotten all the questions from all the nurses done, it was like 30 minutes before you were going to the next room.
To my like postpartum recovery room, whatever.
Yeah, like because we had the lactation specialist there, we were asking her stuff.
Again, 57 people talking to us at the same time.
Nice lady, strange lady.
Yeah, she's like, "Hi, I'm your lactation specialist, and I've had a stroke. So if I tell you the same thing 15 times," and we were like, "Oh,
yeah, well, no, it's like I had a stroke 3 months ago and didn't know about it," and we're like, "What?"
Okay.
So yeah.
Anyways, my mom was with me.
That plays into the story later.
Yeah, so my mom was with me. They wheel my bed out and into my recovery room. My mom was walking with me. Obviously, I have Eli on me, and then you came back
with Dave.
Right, because my stepdad, Dave, you guys have met Dave. Dave obviously wanted to come meet him with my mom. We did them first, and then who was next?
It might have been
your mom. And Peter?
Yes, it was my mom and Peter.
Yeah, because his sister was there, and she was part of that next group.
She went with my dad and she came in with my dad and Michelle.
They had said that the max amount of visitors in the room at a time was 3, including Eric. But like because we definitely pushed it, but also we were super respectful and we weren't loud or screaming or like.
And our family was the talk of the whole floor.
We heard this after the fact. Apparently, while they were waiting in the lobby, while we were in pre-op, my doctor came up the elevators, like the main elevators,
and
to come
happened
back,
to see them.
Saw them all sitting. My mom and his stepmom jumped her because they had seen her before.
They had met her.
They had met her at another doctor's appointment, whatever. So like my mom leapt up and was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like she was a rock star. When my doctor came back to talk to us, she was like,
telling us about
your family is so amazing and they're out there and they're so like they jumped me and they're so excited. We were like, "We're so sorry." She's like, "No, I love it. It made me feel so good."
Yeah, so our family...
they were so thankful that we were allowed to give birth that day because everybody showed up, and then it was like, is it happening? Is it not happening? Whatever.
Yeah.
So he was born January 22nd at 4:32
in the afternoon,
and he's perfect. He's literally perfect.
Yeah.
Everyone got to meet him. Even my friend Cynthia got to come.
She came in, yeah.
And my best friend Cynthia, she came and she got to meet him. And so then it just postpartum started. So I was on good drugs. Like I didn't feel a lot of pain just laying in my bed. I had a catheter in, so I wasn't able to get up or do anything. They didn't take that out until like the middle of the day, the next day on day 2. I was dying to get up and walk. Like I wanted to walk so bad. I really didn't feel painful. Like, I felt fine, and I know part of that was the medicine, but I was like, I've just done so much research, and I knew that, like, motion is lotion. Like, getting up, moving your body helps with recovery, helps with healing, and so I wanted to, like, stand up. And so the first night, my night nurse was the best nurse I had the entire time.
She was the best.
All my nurses were good, but
she was an older Caribbean lady. Her name was Avani. She said,
"Call me grandma."
Yeah, she was like, "Just call me grandma."
And she would come in and she would, like, you know, clean me up and, like, do all this stuff and, like, he had his own baby nurse, which was another.
Oh my gosh! That first one was terrible. So
Eli, obviously, you can tell he has more of Eric's skin tone. He's got the Cubano in him, which is what I wanted. I'm so happy.
He's a little pale now, but we're gonna get him some suntan.
Yeah, he's got more of that, like, tan skin, and so. When he was born, they told us he was Coombs positive. We had no idea what that meant. And so being Coombs positive basically is like a blood thing. So it's like I'm, I think, O positive. Right. And he's A positive, which is the same blood type as Eric.
Yeah. So
in the womb, there was no issue because my blood type can give to any other person's blood type. But once he was born, there was he wasn't, like, fully jaundiced, but he had more of a disposition to become jaundiced. And he had a little bit of yellow, not a ton, but, like, a little bit. So they had to constantly check his bilirubin levels. And so cute. To check his bilirubin levels, they had this little device that had, like, a light on it, and they put it on his chest, and it just, like, flashed a light and read a number.
Yeah.
But we find
out later on, because the nurses that are telling us this are African American, so they were the ones that had the experience with it. But they tell us that because of his skin tone, he is most likely going to fail
the light test.
And we're like, what do you mean? They explained to us that the light test was developed by a Caucasian person for Caucasian people.
Shocking.
So those of ethnic backgrounds, whether they are Latin, Asian, or African American, are more likely to fail.
It's not like you're automatically going to fail, but it's more often that people of color fail this light test, bilirubin test, because of, like, just the coloring of their skin. And I was like, wow, rude.
So the other test that they have to do is a heel prick.
They have to do a blood test, and so to do that, they warm up the baby's foot, they prick the heel, and they send out the blood work, and they get the numbers, like the legitimate numbers, like from the blood work. So the first night, they do the test, he fails it, they go, the night nurse, this was the only nurse that we did not have a good experience with.
Yeah. I wish I got her name because I would have reported her.
And it's just, whatever. So she came in and they put the warming pack on Eli's foot, but it must have fallen off by him, like, just kicking around or whatever. It fell off. And he was swaddled. So he was swaddled, but it fell off. And instead of, like, putting a new one on and, like, waiting for his foot to, like, heat up again, she just stuck him right on the foot. And he immediately starts to erupt into tears, which is obviously, like, sad, but, you know, babies cry, whatever. But he starts crying. She's doing this with the lights off, so he is a good bleeder, let's just put it that way. Yeah. And he bleeds all over his bassinet.
They put a penny Band-Aid.
One of those little circle tan Band-Aids.
On him.
He bled through it. He bled through the Band-Aid. He's bleeding all over himself, the bassinet, the blankets, and it looks not... Again, post one night, this is the night of my surgery, I am, like, in full-blown tears. Well, I can't get out of the bed to get him.
It's at 2 in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning. He's asleep. But
no,
now
I was awake. I was awake for it,
Yeah. Like, he woke up. Like, it was chaotic. I cannot physically get out of my bed to go to my baby. He's, like, all the way over there in the bassinet, like, bleeding and crying. We called, like, my nurse comes in, and she's like, oh, my God. And so, again, she was my angel hero. She got a big adult-sized Band-Aid, put it on his foot, she cleaned him up, she changed all of his sheets and blankets, and we soothed him, and
we finally got him to go to sleep.
Fully traumatized me. Now remember, my blood pressure had been up and down and up and down and up and down, all over the place. Not, like, super dangerous high, but it kept going, like, into the 140s, 150s sometimes, and so they were like, we need to watch you for blood pressure stuff, because they preeclampsia and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't officially have it, but they were like, you're kind of borderline. So, so they were taking my blood pressure, and they always happened to take my blood pressure after they would prick his foot, when that was super stressful for me, and it would make me cry, and my blood pressure would spike. And then they got to the point where they were having to take my blood pressure every 4 hours.
Well, yeah, because there was concerns about her blood pressure when we'd gone to the doctor that day, to see Dr. McKendry for the normal appointment, they were like, we have to take your blood pressure every hour.
Yeah.
And then they moved. They were like, after we do this,
graduated.
after we do this 3 times, then we're going to graduate to every 2 hours, and then so on. So they got to the point where we're doing it every 4 hours, which is great. We were actually able to sleep for a little bit.
Yes, it was great. And again, he was a great sleeper. He would wake up every once in a while. I was still breastfeeding, and like we were just like getting the hang of it. But we were so excited. Like,
yes.
I can't even lie to you. Genuinely, like all of the time in the hospital, it was just such a joy.
Did you give yourself the hiccups?
He does have the hiccups, doesn't he?
He does.
Are you okay? Well, he was just such a good baby, and obviously we had all of our family there. So during the daytime, people were with us the whole time.
Yes.
Holding him, loving him. Yeah. He's good. Yeah. Just let him settle. People were coming every day to see him, and the nurses were really good to me, but like the blood pressure was like an ongoing issue. And what was super annoying was they were checking on him every 4 hours and me every 4 hours, but they weren't the same 4 hours. So every 2 hours, somebody was coming into our room to do something to us. To one of us. And it's funny because we both had the matching wristband, so they would like come in at all hours of the night, scan the band, make you say your name and your date of birth. You're so tired you can't see straight, and you're like, I don't even know who I am.
They're like, read the red numbers on the band, and I'm like, there's 12.
I'm like,
there's 4 different sets of the 3 different numbers on this band. Which ones? The red ones. They're all red.
Meanwhile, he had a family band, which we all had.
Right.
He had his own band, and he had an ankle monitor so no one could take him out of the hospital. So
right.
He had bands all over him. I had 2, one to match him and then my own, and he just had the one family one.
Right.
But it was so funny. We just were like, they were like, which band do you want? This one, my ankle, like, it was crazy. Also, speaking of like funny things, when I had gotten out of surgery, again, I was so hungry and thirsty. And they were only wanting to give me ice chips.
Yeah, they gave her ice chips first, and then you could have some water.
You can graduate to water.
And then if you don't feel nauseous after the water, then you can have some apple juice. And if you don't feel nauseous after that, then you can have some applesauce. She was like, "Screw, give me the damn applesauce."
I was like, "I'll take the applesauce and the crackers and the water all at the same time."
Right.
They're like, "But if you feel nauseous," I'm like, "I won't feel nauseous." Like I don't know how to explain it to you, but I just know my body. And then when we got into the post-op room. What did they give me? Like a cup of vegetable soup? I was like, I need to eat food.
Yeah, Avenue was like, have you had anything to eat? And she's like, no, I'm starving. And she's like, okay, do you want vegetable soup? Because that's all I got. And we were like, whatever, we'll take it.
It was like
a can of Campbell's vegetable soup.
Heated up.
Yeah, they nuked it in a styrofoam cup.
In a little styrofoam cup. And that you would have thought that soup was from the most expensive restaurant.
Right.
It was like dream food to me. I was so hungry. I just drank it.
Michelin star chef had made it. Like...
Correct. No, it was Campbell's. Heated up in a microwave. Okay?
Yeah.
But I didn't care. I was so hungry. And then the next day when everybody started to visit, they brought me coffee and they brought me breakfast and then whatever.
Yeah, we had coffee, we had donuts, we had
people
everything.
Were bringing his great-grandparents,
my grandparents
came from Miami, and they brought pastelitos, and they were giving it to the nurses, and of course the nurses were like, oh my god.
They were loving it.
That's probably why we were allowed to have so many people in the room.
Probably.
We gave them lots of food.
No, but then that ties into, with my grandparents going into the room, that ties into with another funny story.
Oh, yes. So, by the way, I gave birth on a Thursday. We thought it was a 3-day thing. They discharged me on Saturday.
Yeah.
So day 2 was Friday, day 3 was Saturday.
Yeah, they discharged on Saturday. We thought
we
were
really
going to be staying.
Day 1 was Friday.
We thought we were going to be staying overnight, and they were like, "No."
They're like, "You're good.
Yeah.
You can get up. You are going to the bathroom." I went to the bathroom regularly, really fast.
She showered.
His mom, God bless her, showered me, helped with my incision, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like everything was really good. But yeah, when his grandparents came, we were getting revisited from the lactation specialist,
right?
Because Eli, not to be too graphic, but he was latching perfectly, but he was using me as a pacifier.
Yeah, he wasn't actually drinking.
He wasn't actually getting food. So he was just pacifying.
We were there with a lactation specialist, and like at this point, admittedly, I was pissed.
He had his yaw.
I was pissed because when we saw the lactation when we saw the lactation specialist the day before, she's like, I'm going to be in to see you guys tomorrow, meaning Friday, at 11. It's 7:00 at night, and this is the first time we're seeing her that day, and I'm pissed because he hasn't been eating well all day because he's not actually sucking down any of the milk.
He's been sleeping.
Everything else is great. He's just super fussy and upset because he's hungry.
Right.
So I'm pissed, and I tell the nurse that's there helping us that I'm like, hey, get her over here because we need to work on this because he's hungry.
Right, like we know that there's a lot of visitors, but like we'll kick everybody out. We just need to focus on this thing.
So and a little backstory: my grandmother was a nurse in Cuba. That's where she got
many years ago.
Many years ago. Before she came over to the United States, she was a nurse in Cuba. So she has a lot of history with nurses and the medical field and all that stuff. Yeah. So they come visit as they're visiting the lactation specialist. Out 100%. As they're visiting, the lactation specialist comes in to go ahead and start helping. Everyone leaves the room to give Ashley some privacy, except for my grandmother. So my stepmom...
Meanwhile, I don't care. I have no shame. I'm like, breastfeeding is completely natural. Yeah. Like, if you want to stay in the room and you see something that you didn't want to see, that's on you. Because you know what I'm doing. So I don't care. So this is all family anyway.
Yeah, my stepmom stays to go ahead and kind of be like a buffer.
To sit between her
and the lactation specialist. My grandmother only speaks Spanish.
Yes.
She speaks very little broken English.
Yeah.
So we're talking with a lactation specialist, and she's trying to. She's not to be graphic here, but she actually has
grabbing my chest.
Yeah, Ashley's breast in her hand, trying to get him to latch. So it's super quiet in the room, and my grandma the entire time has been saying like, "You need to make noise to wake him up, so that way he goes ahead and latches and eats."
Because like he's pacifying and falling asleep on me.
So we're like, we know. And the lactation specialist is like, no, we're gonna get him. He has to also learn how to kind of like eat while he's sleeping. So this is fine. So Ashley's
dream feed,
whatever it's called. Ashley's holding Ashley's breast in her hand, trying to get Eli to latch. My grandmother goes, and he scared the nurse. She jumped.
The lactation specialist leapt.
She leapt. Jumped. Everyone in the room started laughing because the lactation specialist jumped.
We're so used to that noise. Like, she does that.
Holding the wall. like leaning against the wall. Like, what just happened? We're all laughing.
She had a second stroke.
I tell my grandmother in Spanish, I'm like, she's already had a stroke. You can't give her another one. And she's like, she had a stroke?
So, needless to say, that didn't go so well.
Yes.
But it was fine. We ended up working it out. I know, baby.
Are you getting ready to pass some demons?
Oh, we'll see. He's good. He's tranquilo. So anyway, so she scares the crud out of the lactation specialist. Michelle, his stepmom, is like, "Oh my lord!"
She's like embarrassed for her because the lactation specialist jumped while holding Ashley.
Right, grabbing me. I'm like, "Please, can you let go?" Because ow. Anyway, so that ends up being whatever, and then the next day is the day that we're supposed to go home and be discharged.
Right.
They want to discharge us pretty much about when he was born, around 4:30.
Yeah.
And so they're like, it's discharge day, yay! They're getting us all excited. Everyone's helping us pack up the room. I'm up and walking. I'm going to the chair and back. I'm like, good. The doctors looked at my incision. It's great. Everything's great. But again, my blood pressure is still up and down and up and down. And they've had to prick his heel now 3 different times, because that bilirubin light is not working. But every time they do the blood test, his blood work comes back perfect.
Right.
He's pooping and peeing not normal. He is having no issues at all. It's just that he is Coombs positive, and so they have to prick him every time they would prick him, they would take my blood pressure, because they clearly didn't learn that that's a trigger for my blood pressure, and my blood pressure would go up high, and that would kind of reset my timer of when I got to be okay, be like checked off as you're good to go. So we were literally, everything was packed. It was the last bilirubin check and the last blood pressure check. I had perfect blood pressure checks
all day.
They come, they do the thing on his chest. He doesn't pass it. They go to prick his heel again, and he starts crying, and I'm just like stressed, and I'm crying, and I'm so sad, because it was more about the injustice of the fact that like they had to continually injure my baby because he didn't pass some dumb test that they knew he was going to fail, and he had successfully passed every blood test. So I'm like, if you know that he is continually passing blood tests, why are we doing this again? And it was just so frustrating to me. And again, I'm a new mom. My hormones are at an all-time high. This is my life, and you're hurting him in front of me. And then they thought after doing that was a good time to
go ahead and check
my blood pressure again. And so it delayed our discharge. She checks my blood pressure. I'm in the like high 140s.
Right. And
they tried the other arm, and then it goes even higher into the 150s.
Right. They're like, okay, now we have to wait.
I erupted into tears. I'm just like, I was so upset, and I don't even know who did it, but everyone got out of the room.
No, they all saw that all my family was there at this point because they were all helping get everything. They saw that she was very emotional. They were like, we're going to clear the room. The nurses left. Everyone left. It was just me and her in the room
with him. And they brought me water.
Yeah, they brought her water. They had, and one of the things that our hospital does, which I don't know if we ever discussed, was that they bring us like a special meal,
a birthday cake and meal.
By the time we got to eat it, it was cold because when they brought it, 4 doctors walked in all at the same time.
Thank God his family kept bringing us food because literally every time we got to the food was always cold because they kept bringing it in the middle of everybody talking, like the doctors talking to us.
But one of the things that they bring with it is they bring like a little tray of desserts. It's like a chocolate mousse cake and like a couple other,
it was like a dulce de leche.
Dulce de leche cheesecake.
It was good.
It was good. So we're there, and just to like help comfort her and soothe her, I'm like, let's go ahead and have this. And she's like, well, can I have chocolate? Does that raise my blood pressure? And I'm like,
I'm already halfway through the chocolate cake. By the way, I asked about the blood pressure halfway through it.
Right, I'm like, you know what? That's a good question. I don't know. So I Google it.
No, we asked Siri.
No. Oh yeah, we asked Siri.
She said it out loud.
Yeah, we asked Siri, and I asked her, I'm like, does it lower? Does it affect your blood pressure? And she's like, oh. It does affect your blood pressure, and we were
both like, oh my gosh, we've ruined it.
Yeah, we're like, oh no, we've ruined the task. And then she finished her sentence, it lowers the blood pressure by opening up the blood vessels.
So
and we're like,
just like, eating all the chocolate cake.
She's shoveling the chocolate cake into her mouth, eating it as quickly as she can.
He's feeding it to me, because I have the baby, and I'm just like, I have the baby, he's like feeding me chocolate cake, and then they come back, and they do
the blood pressure. Sure enough. That chocolate cake, man.
Perfect blood pressure.
They were like, all right, you're out.
They're like, you're good, and they let us go home.
Yeah, we loaded him into his stroller. We did the walk out.
Yes, yep, you did your dad walk with your little baby, and they had to wheelchair me down because that's just like their policy, but I could walk, I was fine. And then we drove to the house with him, and we got here. Oh my gosh, you have to tell the stork story.
Oh my God, so... It had to have been Friday. So Friday morning, my dad and my stepmom.
Yeah, Thursday was his birthday.
My dad and my stepmom, they're the early risers. So they came in the hospital first. They brought us breakfast. They brought us like Starbucks, coffees and sandwiches, whatever. And I haven't left the hospital at all.
No.
I was like, I refuse to leave this place. Like, I have my bed right there with my terrible blanket.
His rock hard couch.
The rock hard couch with the blanket that I brought, because the one they gave me was one of those really itchy wool blankets.
We both brought home pillows from home, and then he brought we both brought a blanket, but I didn't mind the hospital blankets.
Right.
He didn't like it.
Yeah, I was like, this is itchy, and I'm not using this. And so I brought like one of the Mexican blankets that we have that's like super soft that we sleep with all the time. And I'm like, I ain't leaving. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not leaving.
So my phone goes off, and it's my Ring camera. And I'm like, I'm not expecting...
Who's at our house?
I'm not
expecting literally everyone is here.
Right. I'm not expecting any deliveries or anything. And I'm looking out, and I see a woman in my lawn driving a metal stake into my ground. Into my lawn. And I'm like... So I turn on the microphone, because this is a camera that's over my garage door, so I can see her clearly.
And you can talk through the Ring camera.
Yeah, I turn on my microphone, and I'm like, hello? And she kind of stops, looks around, and then keeps going. And I'm like, hello? And she ignores it. She thinks it's someone else.
She doesn't understand.
Yeah, she doesn't know that someone's talking to her. So I say very loudly into the phone, what are you doing to my lawn? And she stops, and she realizes now that there's a camera.
He's doing this. There's like a privacy curtain when you enter our big, like, the room was really big. The
recovery room,
whatever. So he goes to the other side of the privacy curtain, and he's having this conversation, and we think he's on the phone, and we're like, who is he speaking so angrily to?
Yeah. So I go ahead and I say, what are you doing to my lawn? And she finally realizes that there's a camera above the garage, and she's like, I'm putting up a stork. I was told to put up a stork by Michelle, and I'm like, oh. Okay. Thank you, please, keep going, whatever. Realizing that at this point my stepmom had ordered something that they were doing.
And so while he's like yelling at the lady, I'm in my hospital bed, and Michelle is sitting next to me, and then she was like, what is he yelling about? And I was like, something about the lawn? And I was like, what is he talking about? And then she just starts grabbing her face like this, and I was like, what's going on? She's like, I wanted to surprise you guys when you came home from the hospital with a wooden stork in your front lawn that said, like,
we'll have to
welcome
put the picture.
Welcome home, Eli, and it had like his weight, his height, like his length.
Everything. It even came like a bundle and everything that we got to keep.
We got to keep the bundle that had all his personal stats on it, but it was like this big, cool, like blue stork because he's a boy, whatever.
Right.
And she was like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, Michelle, don't be offended. He's like the FBI. He doesn't even, when solicitors come, he talks to them through the cameras. Like,
so then so I hang up the Ring. The woman walks to her car and calls Michelle.
And meanwhile, Michelle's in the room with him, with us, like.
And she's like, Michelle, I don't think I can go ahead and keep doing this. The person sounds very angry on the
scared.
camera.
The
she was
scared.
I scared her. I was, first off, good. Thank God I scared her because I was like, at least when I was scaring people when I talk to them.
Oh, when Eric gets like bulldoggy, he can do like that like dad voice, like the scary dad. And I'm like, Eric, please, like this woman. And so like Michelle was like, no, he's right here. He's so sorry. It was a surprise. We didn't tell him.
She was like, it's my son, the FBI agent. So this woman now thinks I work for the FBI. And I'm like, oh my God, we're just compounding on this poor woman's terrible thing.
When she had to come get it back, she came back.
She came back and she saw the camera and like quickly picked everything up, put the bundle by the front door, and then quickly ran back to her car to like get out. So, but yeah, so I went ahead and ruined the surprise.
But that was funny.
Now I work for the FBI, guys.
Apparently,
in case
he
you're ever
works for the FBI now. So FYI, yeah, that was really funny, and I'm trying to think if there was anything else that happened in the hospital that was particularly amusing.
Eli peed on the nurse again.
Oh yes, yep, that was a reoccurring theme.
Yeah, he kept peeing on the nurses.
He was just such a good boy,
the first night.
Oh.
And what the solution ended up being, which actually it's over here.
Well, but don't disturb him. They know what it looks like. I could kill my husband. I love him with all of my heart, but this man can sleep through a train, okay?
I was exhausted.
Fair, but first night, okay? I had surgery. He was born at 4:32. We get through the evening. I chug my vegetable soup. Everybody leaves.
We go down at he went down at 12:30 or something.
Newborns sleep like 20 out of 24 hours a day because they're so tired and new and whatever. So he's sleeping, he's sleeping a lot. But at night, even if he doesn't wake up, you have to wake up to feed them like every 2 hours. It's
right.
or cluster feeding. It's like you're constantly feeding him. But I just had a surgery, so I have a really hard time sitting up. And the hospital bed does have the button, but it only gets you to like this position. It doesn't help you sit higher. All the way up. So I had to Eric would cram like 15 pillows behind my back so I could like sit up, so I could like football hold him to feed him, and it was like this whole thing. So we were just like, we didn't set alarms or anything at this point. We were just letting him wake us up to feed him. So he starts to stir, and then he starts to cry, and then he starts to wail. And again, the bassinet, like that clear plastic bassinet, was right next to my hospital bed, but I'm below him at this point. Like, I don't have the ability to pick myself up. This is the first night I was not allowed to get out of the bed. I still had a catheter in. I couldn't get him. Someone had to hand him to me. And Eric slept through the whole thing. I was like, Eric, honey, babe, Eric. Meanwhile, he's crying louder and louder and louder, to the point where Eric could never even hear me calling for him because he's screaming, meaning Eli. And I'm like, Eric! And then I'm like, you know what? I think to myself, it's fine. I'll just press the nurse button on my little... But he took the remote from me.
She was uncomfortable with it, so I put the remote on the chair next to her.
I kept accidentally pressing the nurse button because it dangles above you, like on the bed. Like it flips over the bed, and it's like always like right at your shoulder. And I kept rolling on it and calling the nurse on accident, so he took the remote away from me. But then he fell asleep, and the remote was out of my reach. Again, I cannot get out of my bed to go get said remote. So I can't call the nurse. My husband will not wake up. My child is shrieking because he's hungry and pissed. And I'm sitting in this bed with a giant fresh incision, and I'm not allowed to move. And I'm like, this is hell. This is what hell looks like. So I, because I'm a crazy person, jacked my bed all the way up. I was like in the sky, and then I was above him, and I leaned. I held onto the side of my hospital bed, and I leaned and I grabbed his bassinet. I pulled it towards me, and then it hurt, but I picked him. I went like this, and I picked him up out of his bassinet. And then when he stopped crying, you woke up.
Yeah. And then she was like, "Go back to sleep."
I was like, "You're the worst. I love you. Go back to sleep."
No.
And I was like, "I was calling you. Did you not hear us?" No.
No. I couldn't hear anything.
He was he was dead to me.
I will say though, after that, I made sure to sleep. I make sure to sleep very lightly in case he does stir, and I've been waking up.
The best part was like when he first of all, he's sleeping on the couch. He's no more than 5 feet away from me, and he was sleeping facing us. He was not turned into the corner. It was hilarious, but also I was gonna kill him. But then, so I told the whole family this story the next day, and everyone thought it was hilarious because apparently Eric's dad
did the same
exact thing to Michelle, which we had no idea. So I told as a joke to the family, I was like, I need like a Nerf gun to like shoot him, like to wake him up when I need him, because I was still not allowed to get out of the bed. Like day 2, they didn't even let me walk around. They let me stand up
and go to the chair,
and that was it. Like that was it. So literally, I forgot, they went to Target or something, and Laura and his sister bought me a Nerf gun.
Yeah, they had gone to the hotel to check on
the dog.
No, they didn't have the dog. They were getting Lauren food.
Yeah.
They were getting Lauren food or something. Yeah. They were like, well, we're gonna go get Lauren food. We're gonna run a couple errands and then we'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm wondering where they're at, like what errands they're having to run, because they don't live by us. I'm like,
what errands are you running?
Yeah, what errands are you running?
Our area?
So I track all the family. I track them, and they went to Target. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Whatever.
So they came back with the Nerf gun, and she ended up never having to use it because I
woke
up
the threat of it
I
was enough.
I woke up every time afterwards.
It had 5 bullets, and I was ready. I had it right on my bedside.
It had 10, but it could fire 5 at one time.
At one time, I was like, if you don't wake up. But it was funny. It was all in good fun. Like I knew he was exhausted. I mean, like mark for mark, everything I was going through. Like if I couldn't eat, Eric wouldn't eat. If I couldn't drink, he wouldn't drink. I wasn't mad at him, but I was like, how is this physically possible that you are not waking up right? He was shrieking. And again, I was having like an emotional breakdown because I couldn't. It's like your baby is literally shrieking and crying, and you literally can't get out of the bed to get them. Like I felt like I was trapped.
Yeah.
So whatever, but I ended up like saying screw my incision, and I grabbed him, and he was immediately fine once he started eating. But I was like,
yeah, this
is insane. But that was kind of funny because now I have a Nerf gun that I can shoot at him when he's sleeping too deeply and I need him. I'm sure other funny stories will come to me over the weeks as we continue to do videos. We can't get into the whole like
the professional pictures, how he wrapped them up.
So okay, and you guys have seen these pictures because that's how we announced that he was here. We had again 15 people talking to me all at once. At one point, this guy comes in and he has like a little pamphlet, and he's like, "Hey, I am the hospital photographer. Let me know if you'd like to pay for any packages for photos to be taken of your newborn." And first of all, I'm not normally a huge fan of newborn photos where they like prop the babies like this and they look a little creepy and weird and they're asleep but they're propped in these awkward positions. Like I'm not really into that. But I looked through some of the photos that they had done for other people and I was like, okay, they're kind of cute, whatever. And I was like, do you have to take him out of the room? Because he's not leaving my presence.
Right.
And they were like, no. We literally do it on the couch in your room. And I was like...
They undid my bed and did it on the couch.
Yeah, they literally did it on the couch. So I was like, okay, I'll bite. So we ordered the package. And literally, he came back that day because he
came back like 20 minutes later.
Well, because they only did it during the weekdays, and it was Friday.
Yeah, and he was like, "I'm not here on the weekends," and we're like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, well, then and I was like, "I'll pay anything to get cute pictures of him."
Right.
Because, like it's like even if the pictures turned out crappy, I'm like, we'll never get him like this small again. So like, I'd rather have it and say I have it than not have it and wish I got it. So we ordered the photo package. She comes back with one of those little like 3-tier art carts with a bunch of like supplies on it. Like it looked like he went to Michael's and just like threw everything in his cart, and he brought it over. He like had all these like poster boards, like fake backgrounds, and then he had a like a circle light softener, like a light diffuser that he put up in the window because we had a really nice view. Actually, it was beautiful. We got to see the sunrise like the day after he was born, and like it was beautiful, whatever, because of course we were up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 5, whatever, 6 a.m. Whenever the sun rises, we were up. We were always awake.
It's our life now.
Yes. Yeah, we get to see the sunrise every day now.
Even on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, buddy. Big feelings. Okay.
It's probably hot.
No, he's okay. Just, yeah.
No.
Well, we have the fan. Do we need to move it?
Yeah. Can you point it more at me?
Like down?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
I'm sweating holding him.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can do that.
He's a heater like me.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Literally, he sweats without a second thought. Is that good?
A little more towards you. No, towards you.
I'm just pulling it closer. Sorry for the brief interruption while we arrange our fan.
There we go.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cooling air.
I was like, I feel great.
Yeah.
It's pointing right at me.
I got a heater on me.
Yeah. No, he is his father's son in more ways than one. Anyway, I'm not going to get graphic about that. So, what was it? Oh yeah, we got to see the sunrise. So the guy has all these little things with him in his little cart, and this man is the baby whisperer.
Seriously.
Okay? Again, Eli is not a fussy baby, really. I mean, obviously, look at him.
Yeah.
But, like, this is literally him, like, most of the day. Unless he has gas or he's hungry, this is him all the time. We do tummy time, and he is actually a lot more awake and active.
He is, and but he is not a fan of tummy time.
He's had a long day. He literally this whole week has been like grandparent visiting, so he's exhausted because he's been like passed around.
Every single grandparent that lives in the state of Florida has come.
Correct. He has seen 6 out of the 8.
Yeah.
So he's tired.
And his aunt.
And his aunt. So anyway, the guy, like, he would do this thing where he would, like, swaddle the baby and then rock them. And then he had his cell phone with a white noise machine it was like on the cell phone. And, like, he just, and again, the room is full. All of my family is in the room with me. He is taken over the couch, so nobody's sitting. The nurses and doctors are coming in and asking questions and talking to us. Eric and I are there. The food is showing up. And this guy is like, you would think he was in a bubble.
Right.
A bubble.
And my family, because we're all Spanish, we're all Cuban, you know, they're all speaking Spanish to each other, and the guy is also Cuban.
He's also Cuban.
And my family's all like, we never had any of this stuff when the kids were little, like, talking about Ashley and I.
When we were born.
Yeah, and they're like, you know, oh my God, what is all this new stuff? And they're talking about how he's able to swaddle him and everything, and they start talking about, oh yeah,
he never cried, he never got mad. They put him in all sorts of crazy hats and outfits. You guys saw.
Yeah.
But then he finishes all the photos, and I was like, so, you know, how many weeks or whatever will it take to get them? And he was like, oh, you'll have them in a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yes. So they were like, you'll have them in a couple hours. And I was like, what? And so literally the guy, like, came back a couple hours later with, like, a big display screen, and he showed us all of the photos. I was in tears.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, and they don't look creepy or weird.
And you would never know that they were taken on a couch.
You would never know. They look like they were taken in a studio.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I know you guys loved the maternity photos that we did. We booked the same girl to do pictures of him at 6 months.
Yes.
So catch those photos sometime in, like, July. Well, she takes about 2 weeks, so probably by August we'll get those photos back. But we were going to do a 1-month photo shoot with him, but then we didn't know that the hospital photo shoot was going to be so good. So we wanted him to look a lot different than the hospital photos. He does look different, but, like, even more so. So we figured 6 months was a good little half birthday photo shoot. And they're going to come to the house, so they're going to take pictures of, like, his nursery and, like, him and his nurse. It's going to be so cute.
Yeah.
But anywho. So yeah, that was pretty cool, the photographer guy. We got to post those pictures. Mm-hmm. I know we teased you guys with those, and then the Valentine's picture. Yes. I took that. I just threw a blanket over one of our chairs and kissed him with lipstick and had a ball.
He had lipstick on him for like 3 days.
Yeah, he looked like he had a rash on his eyebrow because I kissed his eyebrow and we just couldn't get it out of his hair.
Yeah, I kept wiping with the wet wipes and I washed his face and everything. It just would not come.
Oh, he loves showers. Yes. By the way, because his umbilical cord has already fallen off, but it took a little extra time for it to fall off. And so we aren't able to, like, submerge him, obviously, in water until it fell off because it has to stay dry. So instead of doing, like, baths, I would get in the shower and hold him with, like, a muslin cloth so he, like, couldn't slip or whatever. But he's just like us. Like, he's a total water baby.
Oh, yeah.
He loves the rain on his face. He loves the warmth. And, like, he never complained in the shower.
No.
I can't wait to give him baths. He still has a little bit of discharge going on in his umbilical cord area, or his belly button. So we can't give him, like, true baths just yet. But I'm so excited to be able to do that because he's gonna love it.
According to our pediatrician, we have to put salt on it.
Yeah, because they don't really want you to use alcohol pads to dry it out. So they're like, just a little pinch of table salt once a day, and, you know, it should dry out fast. But, like, it's mostly there. It's just a tiny piece left.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last 5 weeks have been incredible, and that's pretty much it. We went home on the Saturday. Everybody stayed through Sunday.
Everyone went home on Sunday.
Well, your dad went home Monday.
Oh yeah, my dad went home Monday. That's right.
But yeah, and then obviously, it's okay, bubbies. My mom lives near us, so she has been so gracious to everybody else because she knows, like, everybody else has to go back to South Florida. So she was, like, around. She obviously was. I mean, obviously it's my mom. She was there with us the whole time. But, like, she gave the other grandparents, his family, a lot more FaceTime with Eli because she knew, like, they were going to leave and she was going to stay. And so we've pretty much seen my mom and Dave like at least once a week, if not more, since coming home. And then Eric's parents couldn't stay away, so they've already
come up like twice.
This is the third time.
So this is the third time.
They came up when he was born. They came back like the week after.
Right.
And then this time.
Yeah. And then my dad and my stepmom and my siblings are coming in 3 weeks for my brother's birthday.
So his sister has met Eli because she's in Orlando, but none of his brothers have met Eli yet. So they're all gonna. So his brother on his dad's side is gonna meet him for his birthday in March.
Right, and because he's flying in from Wisconsin.
Yes, and then his other two brothers from his mom's side, they're gonna meet him around Easter.
Right, because we're gonna go down.
Mm-hmm. So it's just been such a blessing, and honestly, like, are we tired? Yeah, we're new parents, but I don't know. I can't call it hard.
No, I think one of the things that really helped us was that we got him and ourselves on a schedule very quickly.
Yeah, we tried to not get used to being able to sleep whenever we wanted and like doing things whenever we wanted, because we just knew that like eventually Eric would have to go back to work and I would have to do things by myself, and we needed to make sure that I was able to be the one that woke up in the middle of the night to feed him and do things, because he has to sleep. He has to drive a vehicle to go to work and be a human being. I have to do
an hour commute each way to get to and from work.
There was just, and again, my mom is going to step up a lot once he goes back to work to help me and do whatever, like just be part of that, so she can prepare to help me when I go back to work in June. But still, it was just like, I think, because newborns really don't have a schedule. You're just supposed to do whatever they need when they need it. But getting us on a schedule helped our mental game a lot.
Well, and so like I said when we first started this video, I was supposed to go back on Thursday. I'm now going back on Friday because he was born breached. There's a concern that he has hip dysplasia. The pediatrician has outright said...
There was a concern, but... The pediatrician was like, he's fine.
Yeah, they don't believe he does have it, but they're making us do an ultrasound for him
just
anyways.
To confirm.
Yeah, just to check the box, because they have to check the box.
Which is just good to see, you know.
Right.
Like,
it was originally scheduled for Thursday, so I took the Thursday off, and then now they called us, and now it's been moved to Wednesday.
Tuesday.
So,
and that's his last big thing. He's already gone to the doctor, like his normal appointments, like three times.
His next one is 2 months, which is at the end of March. Or middle of March.
Mid-March, and then he'll do one every couple months, and then it'll start to go to like 6 months, a year, or whatever. He has, you can't tell because he has his PJ on, but he has 2 Spider-Man Band-Aids on his thighs. He's got his
first shots already.
He got the RSV shot and the Hep B shot, so he's already getting his vaccines and stuff. He was a champ for that. I'm like, thank God they didn't take my blood pressure after that, because whenever he's in pain, I can't stand it. It doesn't bother, like when he cries, I'm fine. It's when it's because I know he's in pain that I get like psycho. But he's just, he's so perfect. He's such an angel. We have already taken him out multiple times.
Yes.
We don't want to expose him or get him sick, so we like when we go out, we leave him in his carrier. But like we've gone to restaurants, we've gone to the mall, we've gone walking outside, we've gone to stores. We haven't gone grocery shopping yet. We should do that.
Yes, we did.
We did?
We did.
Oh, we went to Costco.
And we went to Publix. Right.
I forgot. But like we have to go tomorrow, so I was like, oh, we can go with him tomorrow. He's just such a chill baby. But obviously like
we've learned he's a speed demon.
Oh my gosh. So again, I know we can't cover the last 5 weeks in this
another
video.
Because she still has to talk about all of her Diamond Pink stuff too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Dang it. Okay,
I know.
We'll switch to that topic soon. It's already. Oh my gosh, this video is so long.
I know, and it's already almost 7.
Oh yeah, I am hungry.
I know.
Okay.
I have to get off because of the 9.
I know. Okay.
I know.
So, what was I gonna say?
Speed demon. So he likes. First of all, I think I told you guys this a long time ago. Before I knew I was pregnant, when I was 4 weeks pregnant, I went to a work thing at Busch Gardens and rode front row in all of the roller coasters. She was already 4 weeks.
It was 4 weeks. Yeah. No, it was 4 weeks because the next week I found out I literally found out I was pregnant the Wednesday or Thursday after going to Busch Gardens and riding like all the rides front row a million times. So that clearly affected him because he has a need for speed. When he's in his stroller, he wants us to run with it.
Yeah,
he's happiest when he'll cry because he doesn't like to be restrained. He loves being in the car and in the stroller once he's moving, but that initial strap in, he gets fussy. So like we strap him in, he'll cry, and then we have to like run around the house with the stroller and up and down the street, and then he's happy with it. And then his dad and his stepmom, when they just came up to visit him for his stepmom's birthday, they were at Walmart and eventually Target, and they bought him a swing, like one of those like swings where he sits in it and it like swings him. And it has like 6 speed settings, and he prefers speed 6.
Yeah, the max. Where it
to
looks
the point
like...
where he fell asleep, and I said, "Hey, Eric, can you turn it down?" Because he's like this.
The leg is lifting, so I have to put weight on it.
We had to put like our barbell weights on the leg so it doesn't tip over because he's so big already. It can go up to 25 pounds, but he's already like over 11 pounds. And so when it swings at a 6, it picks the leg up. So we had to put weights to make sure it doesn't rock him into the outer space. But I told him while he had fallen asleep in the swing, and I was like, "Can you put the swing like a couple speeds down because he's already asleep?" He woke up and cried.
He was mad.
He was mad, and when Eric put the speed back up to supersonic, he went back to sleep.
So yeah, got a regular speed demon here.
Oh my lord!
It's gonna be a roller coaster junkie.
Yeah, pretty much. But otherwise, the only like thing that we're watching with him right now is his gas. He's very gassy. Whenever we're about to feed him, usually he's super fussy, and we just like play with his legs and do like the bicycle legs and stuff, and he farts and he gets. Yeah, well, don't make him do it now. But yeah, he's like, other than that, super happy, wonderful baby.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be sad when you go back to work.
I know. But at least my first day at work, I found out I'm only really there for a half day because it's Employee Appreciation Day. So they gave me 2 hours of admin leave.
So that's cool. And I do have a friend coming into town the day before, so I won't be alone the first day that you're at work. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
and then
won't be.
It's a Friday, so we go right into the weekend.
Right.
So it'll be a decent transition. It's March 1st. I have all of March, all of April, and all of May home with him, and then June and July I'm only going to be working two 10-hour days a week to transition, and then August I go back full time. So that's the current plan. Obviously I'll keep you guys posted on how everything is going. We already have so many things planned with him. Yes. Easter plans, Mother's Day stuff, like there's just so much coming up that we're so excited about, so obviously we'll keep you posted. As a fun little surprise, we do already have plans, or I already have plans for my mom and Dave to come on a Whip and Chat with me, so that way you guys can see them again and they can talk about being grandparents, and you can hear from them about their experience. That'll probably be closer to like my birthday time, which is at the end of the month. So yeah, I am going to switch over to diamond painting topics just a little bit because this video is going to be long. As per usual.
Welcome.
You knew when I came back, this is how we were gonna roll, right?
The fact that this isn't a 24-hour video, like
we can't.
I don't even know if the phone could record that long.
I know. I would have to break it up into like a million clips. But anyways, so let's talk about diamond painting for a little bit, and then we'll wrap it up. So, diamond painting postpartum has not happened a lot, but I will say that I want to. And that is something that I'm very happy about, because I was genuinely scared that I would take a big hiatus from diamond painting and I would fall out of love with it. Because you know how hyperfixation crafters are. Like, we find something we love, we hyperfixate, we buy all the supplies, we get all the stuff, we get into it, and then we somehow get broken away from it, or we take a break, and then we lose that passion and we find something else. Oh no, baby.
Big feelings.
Big feelings. He's okay. Just a big stretch. Or maybe he's working on a number 2.
No, just a stretch.
Just a stretch? Okay. So I was genuinely afraid, like, I'm going to come back and not want to do it anymore. Happy to report, still in love with diamond painting. Actually, was really dying to do it the whole time. I'll talk about this probably in future videos about my, like, breastfeeding journey, because that is a whole...
That's a whole other video, guys.
That is a whole character arc that I have experienced that I cannot fully divulge in just this video. But let's just say it's been a journey. I am still actively pumping and breastfeeding and all of that, but we are supplementing with formula at this point. We waited until he was 4 weeks old. Basically, he has grown so much so fast, and he's going through growth spurts that my supply wasn't able to keep up with the number of ounces he needs every day. But ironically, ever since we started adding formula to the mix, my supply has been increasing.
Well, and it's also good that we've started the supplement because we've now been able to start building a backstock of formula or breast milk that we need.
Yeah, because that was the thing is like, and again, not to get too in the weeds with it, but like I was breastfeeding, and then when he had his first doctor's appointment, he had lost 1 pound post leaving the hospital, which is normal for babies to lose weight when they go home. And then they just say that they want the baby to gain the back up to birth weight by their 2-week appointment. He did that with spades, but because he was a pound under at his first appointment, that was technically a 12% weight loss. So they were like, we want you to come back in 2 days just to make sure he's not continuing to lose weight and he's going in the upward direction. Well, that freaked me out to the point where I didn't feel comfortable exclusively breastfeeding like nursing. I wanted to pump, so I knew exactly how many ounces he was getting, and I've been pumping ever since.
Right.
And it's been going really well, but like when he was super, super little, I was pumping every 2 hours, which had me strapped to the wall. I did get a pump through my insurance that was battery operated as well as wall like plug-in, so I could have walked around, but it's big and bulky and heavy. It's the Spectra. It's a great pump, but like the things are big. You really can't do anything when you're pumping. You really can't. There's just too much going on. It's overstimulating. So I was literally strapped to our couch for like the first 3 weeks of his life. I didn't leave the couch. I only came upstairs to sleep, and that was it. But for my birthday, my mom got me an early birthday present, and she and my stepdad bought me wearable pumps where they're like slip-ins, so I can walk around my house and do things and whatever. And that has been a game changer, and my supply has increased, I think partially because of it.
Yeah.
Also lower stress, and just he's eating better now, and he's like just...
I mean, clearly
he's fed, okay? Clearly he's well fed. So basically we do... let me get back to the point. I brought all that up to say I haven't really been able to diamond paint because I've been strapped to my couch, just constantly feeding him. Like, by the time you pump, feed him, burp him, change him, and calm him down to go back down for a nap, you're doing it again in an hour.
Right.
An hour. So it's like when he was eating, now he eats every 3 to 4 hours, and he's having bigger bottles, and he's staying like content longer, and he's taking less time to like lay back down. So it's been we're getting it. We're getting into a really good rhythm. But diamond painting has not been a thing that I can do just like
And when she was doing the pumping every 2 hours, that hour in between that we had if after we fed him and it was before we had to do it all again, it was one of those that was like, okay, what do we want to do for this hour? Do we want to shower? Do we want to eat? Or do we want to go to sleep? Like
like there was exactly, baby. So we had limited choices.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the things that I was super excited about was one of the things we had said before, like he came and we got home, was that we really wanted to like completely clean out our garage.
The closet's next.
The closet's next. But we wanted to completely like take a bunch of stuff to the dump and donate a bunch of stuff and get all this. We had all these diapers and things for him in the middle of the floor. We wanted to get racks to organize all of our bins and Christmas decorations, whatever. So literally, we would do all his stuff, and then we would have a 2-hour window, and we'd run into the garage and like do stuff, and then we'd come back, feed him, burp, do the whole thing again, and then go back in the garage and do stuff. It was hilarious, but it took us a week, but we are like, I would say 75% there.
Yeah, I'm finishing, so
Monday.
We're filming on Sunday, I'm finishing the rest of the garage tomorrow Monday. And hopefully by Wednesday when you see this, it will be completely done.
Yes. And again, really it's just building the last rack and putting stuff on it and then like organizing, and if there's one more dump trip.
There will be one more dump trip.
Because of the swing box.
The boxes.
So yeah, anyway, but like we're like 75% of the way there. We also want to get a garage fridge because not only because of this, like we've been talking about that for like years, but also now that we are freezing my milk, and I'm creating a stash for when I go back to work, so that way my mom can give him breast milk during the day. We're quickly going to run out of freezer room. Yeah. Because our freezer is like, our fridge is like half and half, so we're going to run out of room.
I think I'm going to need to call them next week and be like, hey.
Can you come visit us?
How much is it going to be?
Yeah. But anyways, so diamond painting is something that I really, really want to do, and I'm excited about getting back into it now that he's got more of an established routine and rhythm, and I feel more confident as a mom, and feeding him and pumping, and everything is just getting better and better every day. And so once Eric goes back to work, and now that all the visits of all the grandparents are over, because that's another thing, is we had visitors like almost nonstop for the first 5 weeks of his life. Yep. So I'm going to be in here a lot because I'm going to be filming, I'm going to be editing, and I'm going to be diamond painting and just like watching shows on my computer just like I always did on my days off. But I'll bring him, his bassinet is on wheels, so when he takes his naps I can just bring him into the room with me, or I can bring his swing up or his bouncer.
You asked me to bring the swing up, so I'll bring it up.
We have to rearrange some things and whatever.
Yeah, make room for it in here.
Also, look what Eric built for me.
Oh yeah, that was the other project.
Do you see that giant rack? All my diamond paintings fit on that thing. Hold on, I have to bring you back down. There we go. Yeah, he built that for me. And so we spent, again, one of our little 2-hour windows. We were up here. He built it for me. And then we put all my diamond paintings on that. And so again, like, it gives me a visual of like, okay, this is how much room you have left, Ashley. You have to relax and be more picky about what kits you're buying. I de-stashed a ton of kits.
Yes.
So that way I could make more room for new ones. And we're also putting racks up in the garage, and so eventually we might put some like of the de-stash stuff down there.
Yeah, because some of the racks right now hold things that he needs that he's not big enough for yet. Like we have
size 3 diapers.
Well, but we also have like we have for him right now the Duna stroller, which is also a car seat, but he's going to outgrow that. So we have a Jeep wagon to use as a stroller, and once he's old enough, that's sitting on one of the racks. He's got his high chair. You know, his
things
Bumbo,
will come off of it.
Things like that will come off as he gets bigger that we can then put diamond paintings onto.
Right. And I don't want to keep my like actual stash in the garage, but like keeping like kits that I want to get rid of eventually, like it's fine. And we're planning next year, or maybe I don't know. The next project, the house project that we want to do is we want to get a new hot water heater for the house that's a hybrid, where it sucks the hot air from the outside and then it blows cold air into the garage.
Right.
Our garage door is already insulated and we have a ceiling fan that blows really cold in the garage. So the garage is actually pretty tempered even in a hot Florida summer day.
Right.
But like this would make it actually not hot at all. Yeah. Like truly like almost chilly. So we're looking forward to that project. But anyways, back to the diamond painting topic. Well, that's kind of on topic, but I haven't done a lot, but I did finish Arctic Fox by Rita Konya before I went into labor or whatever. No, I didn't go into labor, before I had my C-section. So that was my only January finish. And then February, I actually finished my my dragon mini dazzles. So I did finish all 6 of the dragons. That was my one diamond painting I did while I was, because they were mini and I was strapped to the couch. And so I have a little side table that I would pull in front of me and I would just diamond paint my minis on that while I was pumping, and it gave me so much peace. And like I was just so happy to be diamond painting again. I didn't even care that it was a mini. I did eventually bring down, you can see her still on the table here. That's Marie Christmas. That's the big painting that I was doing last year during the the Jingle Drills event that I just had extended on to this year. And I did get a couple squares done of her. A couple. Like, I'd say like 4 squares done.
Yeah, I mean, you got a quarter of it left.
It's very close to being done. It's just that getting his schedule down and figuring out how to be new parents, it was so fully consuming that I just did not have the time.
Or the mental capacity.
The mental capacity. We were exhausted. And again, I can't tell you enough. Pumping / breastfeeding is not for the weak of heart. It takes a lot out of you and it's so worth it, but it is like a full-time job basically to pump and or breastfeed for your baby. And then you're concerned about like, are you producing enough? Is he eating enough? It was like an obsession, truly. Like the first 3 to 4 weeks of his life, feedings were an obsession for me. And I'm finally now in a good place where I'm like super confident that he's getting enough food. We have a rhythm going. It's really, and again, my body is reacting and producing more, which is perfect. So I'm hoping that when Eric goes back to work, I actually end up diamond painting more because I'll be alone. That was the other thing too, is we wanted to spend a lot of time together because he was home, so I didn't want to like go off and diamond paint. So like we watched a lot of shows on the couch together and we just did a lot of togetherness time, and we had guests, friends, family come over, and we did a lot of like fun things that we wouldn't normally get to do when he's working. So once I'm alone all day at the house, I'll be up here with Eli. I'll still obviously keep his schedule with like changing his diaper, feedings, tummy time, playing with him. But while he's napping, I'll just be watching a show on my computer, or I'll be editing and he'll be there, and I'll be diamond painting and stuff. So I'm hoping to get diamond painting back into my day-to-day, like my daily activities, because that'll make me feel really good mentally as well, because I miss it. I really miss it. What else was I going to share with you guys? Because our schedule has been so crazy, there were a couple Saturday releases that had diamond paintings that I really wanted, and some even midweek releases that I really wanted that I completely missed the boat on because the timing just didn't work out and I was like not paying attention. Again, I hadn't sat at my computer for probably 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we never really got a chance to sit
We never
at our
really
desks.
came in here. We never sat at our desks. Like, I had my phone in my hand, and that was pretty much it. But I'm looking forward to picking some of those things up on when they come back into stock. I missed one of the Geneva Bowers I really wanted during, I think that was during Black History Month. I think I missed that one. And then I missed a Margaret Morales at some point. And then there was another one that I had missed. So I've missed a couple. So I do have a small wish list with Diamond Art Club right now. And also, I've been placing orders. I purchased some really cute kits from Unimade lately. Jada Gem Shop just had a release that I'm like, I need it. So I have to place an order with her really soon. And we're in mini DP Madness mode now. So we've got lots of minis to be worked on. As a matter of fact, I had 3 different mini sets that I went into maternity leave kind of saying to my members, like, hey, you need to vote on these, and after Valentine's Day, we'll pick a winner. One of the choices, though, was Chaos, which was Kovu getting to choose. Kovu is my cat.
Yeah.
We were going to let Kovu choose which canvas that I was going to work on for Mini DP Madness. And I have a little video clip that I will show you right now of how that went. Let me just say that he chose Chaos. So here it is. Okay, Kovu, the people have voted, and they said that they want Chaos, and you are in charge of picking the 2026 Mini DP Madness canvases for Messy Girl Crafts. This is a very big task. So your options are over here. We have, just as a reminder to everybody, we have Food Fight, which is fruits, sweet treats, and diner food by Diamond Art Club. We have Bling Tour 99 by Blinkety Bites. And we have Chinese New Year / Chinese Zodiac. So these are your options. We're going to use treats to coax you over to the kits. So which will you choose? Let me get the treat set up and we will be right back for your selection. Are you ready to rumble? Okay, we have treats lined up for Kovu. You can see there's 3 treats right there on the table, and then there are little piles of treats on the 3 at the end of the table here. We are going to see what he picks. So, he's already making his way over to the kits. Kovu is snacking on his treat. Okay, here's another one, buddy. Right here. Right there. Get that one. Which treats? I mean, which treats? Which kits are you going to pick? Right over here. Look. Right here. There's another one. Oh, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Which one do you think he's going to pick? Kovu, do you see there's treats? Do you see? Look, there's treats here, here, and here. Which one are you going to pick? No, we're not going back to the big treat bin. Look, I'll even stand behind him. Kovu. Which one? Kovu. Which one? You want to smell it? Okay. Did I drop one? No. Which one? Look, there's treats here, here, focus, here. This is why this is chaos, because getting a cat to do any sort of trick is hard work. Do you smell the treats? Come on. Meanwhile, Winnie is circling me like a shark. Oh, are you going to pick? No, no, no. Stay on the table. Which one are you going to pick? Look, there's treats all of the... Ooh. Oh! I mean, does that count as cheating? Oh, I think he... Yeah, no, he picked. He picked Chinese Zodiac and... Excuse me, sir. Can we see what you picked? Sir, excuse me. Can we see what you picked? Please go over there. Follow the treats. Here. This way. Oh, he found Blinkety Bites treats. Okay. Okay, sir. All right. All right. All right. Well, maybe that means we have to do 2. Does that mean we have to do 2? Maybe we should try to do all of them. Maybe the chaos is we try to literally complete all 6 of these in the month of March in the order he picked. He said Chinese Zodiac and Chinese New Year first. Then he said Blankety Bites, Bling Tour 99. There's 20 canvases in that. This is going to be 12, I think. Oh no, this is 12 and this is 6. And then over here, Sweet Treats. Hi, Kovu. Sweet Treats. Or sorry, not Sweet Treats. Sweet Treats, fruits, and diner food. There's 6, 6, and 6. All right, guys. Well, I think Kovu decided we're doing all of them. Chaos. Yeah, so long story short, Kovu wants me to do all of them. All of them. There are 56 canvases.
Over how many days?
31. If I start today.
Oh, yeah, if you start
today. If I start today, 31. Can I do it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's minis.
You think I can do it?
It's minis, babe.
That makes me feel really good that you think I can do it. I thought you were going to say no.
No, you can do it.
Eric says I can do it. Then I
can
do anything.
You were knocking out 3 of those mini dragons in a day.
Yeah, and there was and the only thing that delayed me was because we had family in town.
Right, and because you had to feed him.
Well, and we were doing 2-hour feeds as opposed to longer feeds.
Like,
I am so thankful that you think I could do it, and now I feel like I can. I was gonna be like, I can't do it. 56 mini canvases in 31 days is a lot. I don't know how I'm gonna work this out in bracket form. I truly do not. What I might do is do like a bracket per set, per like grouping, and then have like a final showdown, like the best kit of all 3 sets go into like a final showdown situation. I don't know. I'm just making it up as I go. But just to remind you of what the options were, we have Food Fight. Oh my gosh. Fruits. We have Food Fight, which is fruits, sweet treats, and diner food. And these are all from Diamond Art Club. There's 6 canvases in each of these 3. So that is one grouping. Then we have the Chinese New Year / Chinese Zodiac sets. The Chinese Zodiac has 12, and then this Chinese New Year has 6. So that's going to be done. And then we also have this Blankety Bites. This is the Bling Tour 99, and it has 20 canvases in this one box. So that is going to be done as well. And so actually Blankety Bites and Diamond Art Club are both sponsors of Mini DP Madness. If you join our Facebook group, which I will have linked in the description box below, you can see there's a list in there of like our sponsors and like different discount codes and like whatever, and they're going to be giving prizes and stuff. So I'm kind of excited. I've never worked on a Blankety Bites canvas before, so that's going to be a first for me. And I've now worked on a couple Diamond Art Club mini dazzle sets, and they're really, really good, and I know I'm going to blaze through them. Are you messing with him?
He's being so fancy, he's got his pinky out.
He said, fancy. Yeah, so the way Kovu voted, he wants me to do the Chinese New Year sets first, then I think he picked Blankety Bites, and then he did Food Fight. So he picked all of them.
Of course he would leave food for last.
Of course. We'll save the best for last.
The glutton.
He thinks Food Fight's gonna win. I don't know. Which grouping do you think the winning canvas will come from?
How are we rating the winning canvas?
Just which one looks the best? Like, which is my favorite experience overall, and which one is my favorite image?
Probably the 90s one, the Blankety Bites 90s.
Okay, so Kovu thinks that Food Fight's gonna win. Eric thinks that the Blankety Bites is gonna win. I genuinely don't know.
Well, because Blankety Bites has a Tamagotchi.
That's true.
Right?
I do love a Tamagotchi. I still have mine. But anyways, so that is what I'm going to be doing for Mini DP Madness. So I will be giving you guys check-ins every time you guys see me on a Whip and Chat. Let me just say, too, as well, as far as, like, what is videos from Messy Girl
What
Crafts?
content is going to be coming?
What does content look like for new mommy Ashley Messy Girl Crafts?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it this way. Hey, Ashley, what content is coming?
Well, Eric, since you asked, I am for sure doing Whip and Chats. This is like the bread and butter of my channel. I feel like this is how we all built a relationship with each other. I always have so much to share with you guys. He is the light of my life. Clearly, I have so many things to talk about with him and also other things that are going on. Eric,
he's also snoring, by the way, guys.
Is he really? He's going...
He's doing like the little, like the high pitch, like...
It's so cute. He does snore just like his dad.
Yes, and his mother.
I plead the fifth.
Don't you start with that.
Anyways,
this is a family of snores. The cats snore.
The cats do snore. We're so distracted. Anyway, so the way it's going to work is I'm for sure doing Wednesday Whip and Chat. So that is going to keep happening unless something crazy goes down, which nothing hopefully will go down. But every Wednesday I will still be doing my Whip and Chats for Whip and Chat Wednesday. And then I'm still going to obviously be doing unboxings and like sneak peeks and stuff. Diamond Art Club was extremely generous, and I told them, you know, hey, I'm having a baby, I'm not going to be able to do stuff for a little bit, and they said, hey girl, no worries, you have that baby, and when you're ready to come back, you come back. If you need a break, let us know. They were so generous and kind with me. I can't even speak highly enough of them. So I told them I'm back, and they said, cool, we're sending you a lot of stuff. So I already have things in the mail on the way to me to sneak peek for you guys. Plus I had 3 canvases that I had to sneak peek because remember in the beginning of the year, things were getting shipped really late. I have 3 sneak peeks that came to me after they were a Saturday release, but when I was already on maternity leave. So I actually have like a super, it's a first look, but it's not even a first look because I'm sure people have already even finished some of these canvases already. So I do have one kind of makeup sneak peek video that I'm going to do for you guys. And then I'm going to start doing my like newer sneak peeks as they arrive to me and whenever they're supposed to be released. So you'll see more unboxings from me. And right now, that's kind of where I'm at. Whip and Chats and then unboxings is, I think, all I can handle right now. Obviously, Eric and I were doing our drill-worthy episodes.
Right.
We very well may pick that up again. I know it was a fan favorite. But
it's just a matter of timing with
him and just like making sure we again are making time for everything.
Right. And making sure that we are making time for us too. I mean, I was thinking about it today. I have to do our laundry, and it's already Sunday night, and I'm like, it's 7:30 at night. I ain't doing it today. I ain't doing it now.
Right, and the fact that he's still on parental leave means, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. But once he's back at work, it's not going to work that way.
Yeah, I have to do it on the days that I have off.
Right, and so, you know, I'm not saying that we're never doing another drill-worthy episode again. I'm just saying it's on pause until we can work it correctly into our schedule.
Right, until we can work out a better schedule with me going back to work, and then even with her going back to work too. Yeah,
and that's the thing is, like, I don't want to burn out, right? Like, I wanted to return to YouTube. I'm so happy to be back. We missed you guys so much, and I can't wait to continue to share about everything.
we were talking about it earlier today about doing this video, and we're like, we have so much to tell everyone.
There's just so many things.
How do we contain it into a 2.5 hour video?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have no idea. Genuinely. But we're just going to keep sharing and keep talking to you guys about his growth. He's not going to be in every single video, right? Like, obviously this is the first one back, so we wanted you guys to see him and see that he's huge and growing and delicious and whatever, but like, you know, he'll be in the room with me, obviously, because if I'm home alone filming, I'm not going to just leave him somewhere in the house.
You might just see a foot in the swing.
Exactly.
Or like a hand in the bassinet.
Exactly. Like, he'll be around, but he's not always going to be like FaceTime central. But I don't mind you guys seeing him and saying hi to him because he's our whole world. So yeah, like I said, coming back videos, definitely Whip and Chats, definitely unboxings and sneak peeks from multiple companies, and things like that. So look forward to that. Mini DP Madness has officially kicked off. I'm going to attempt to do 56 canvases in 31 days.
Yeah, she's got it.
What a comeback from doing nothing for like weeks.
Listen, we don't do anything half cocked over here.
That's true. He's so correct. And again, like I know that like in the beginning of the year I made kind of like a plans video where I talked about like wanting to do Black Friday kits every month, or not every month, but like I wanted to work on Black Friday kits this year, and I had other kits that I had mapped out for myself. All of that is still true, but I'm just going to do the best I can. Like, I'm not going to make myself feel bad about if I have to skip a canvas or if I have to take a long, like, Marie Christmas that was from Christmas, but I'm still working on it and it's March. I'm not going to beat myself up about that. You know, if I'm working on the minis and I actually get myself pretty far into them, I might take a break and go work on the other one. My goal would be to ideally finish that Christmas kit before the end of March, because I have not put drills down on Mother and Child by Rosie Scribbles, which is the one that I want to go into his room. I haven't put drills down on that. And I haven't put drills down on Star Spirit by Jabushka, which was my very first Black Friday kit that I was going to do for the year. Because, again, just he came early, and that just mentally threw us off a little bit.
Yeah. Which, now, speaking of kits that have been released and all that in Drillworthy, did you guys see the Aries on Drillworthy came out by Chris?
Yes, actually, I think that's a bingo. I think I get a bingo square for that.
Ah, there we go.
Yep.
We're checking multiple boxes here.
Checking boxes all day. So, that's another thing, too, is, like, in lieu of a Whip and Chat 1 week, I will do a month in review. Like, month in review videos will still happen. It'll just be in lieu of a Whip and Chat that week, because it's kind of a Whip and Chat anyway.
Right.
But yeah, so we're just going to take it one day at a time. But we're back. We're back. And
from outer space.
We're excited. And he's adorable. He's waving.
He is out.
He
is out.
This is how you know he's asleep, when you can pick up a limb and drop it and he's unaware.
No, not a single care in the world.
He really can sleep through anything. He's like you.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to have to Nerf gun him in the future to go to school.
Are you kidding me? I'll just throw water on him.
Oh my gosh.
That's what they used to do to me.
Okay, I'm just checking my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything.
We talked about membership content, right?
I was just going to say, for membership content, like if you're a member of this channel, first of all, thank you guys so much for continuing to be members, even through the months where I was not posting things. And I did warn everybody, like, hey, if you're a member, it's going to be kind of sparse because I'm having a baby.
Right.
But I do plan to start bringing back membership lives and some other membership content. Again, it might take me a while, just because I'm still kind of getting used to everything. And then obviously when he goes back to work, that's going to be another adjustment, filming and editing while I'm the only one taking care of him. And I'm only going to do what he allows me to do. If he needs me more than YouTube, then he's my number one priority.
He being Eli, not he being me.
Both of you. Both of you. If you need me, you're a priority too. But Eli is my number one priority. So, like, if he needs me and I'm not able to do what I need to do that day, I'm just going to have to figure it out. I can also definitely work with you to film at night while you're home and playing with him. So, we'll figure it out. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be something. It's going to be something. But yeah, members, you'll still be able to vote on kits as necessary. Right now, I don't have any kits to vote on, but that will eventually come back into the fold. But I will be doing lives again. So if you're part of the Inner Circle group, you'll get lives coming back in March. My first live will probably be on my birthday, which is exciting. That's March 29th, so mark your calendars for that. And then the other tier members, we're going to try to do some posts and things and get you guys involved in some other videos, because I do want to still do those monthly behind the scenes videos. So you are getting that exclusive content that makes it worth it to be a member of my channel. And other than that, I'm just excited to be back on YouTube. And Eric, thank you for supporting this journey.
Of course.
And Eli, you're adorable. And we're going to do question of the day, and then we're going to wrap up this video. So, what number should we pick for Eli's first video?
122.
Oh, because of his birthday.
Right.
You're so clever. Okay,
Unless we did that already.
No, January 22nd. I don't think we did that.
Oh,
no, we didn't.
Okay.
Have you ever let someone win an argument even if you knew you were right? If so, who?
Oh my god, are you kidding me? I do this all the time at work.
Wow, you're bigger than I am.
Because it's one of those things where it's like, I know that I need them. I know that I am right and the way that I am explaining things and doing things is the correct way to do it. But I am not the one in charge. So I have to let them win the argument and do it their way and then fix it in the back end.
That's big of you. I'm an Aries. I am not good at backing down from pretty much anything. Anything. And if I know I'm right, that's even harder.
Yeah.
Have you ever let someone win an argument even if you knew you were right? If so, who? I can't think of a particular instance because I'm a fighter, man. Like, again, like, not like an aggressive fighter, but like if I know I'm right and I have receipts, I'm like, you will believe.
Don't let her fool you. She is aggressive.
What do you?
I have bruises.
No, you do not. You're gonna get me on a list. You need to chill out.
We're already on a list.
No, we're not. Ignore him. Okay, have you? That was speaking. That was really funny. When we were in the hospital, when he went out to go eat all of his snacks, the nurse was like, now I can ask you all these questions. Like, are you in danger? Are you being are you here against your will? Did he get you pregnant against your will? Like, asking you all the, again, they're serious questions and it's good that they're asking them.
Right.
But I was just laughing. I was like, my husband never couldn't hurt me ever. But it was just like funny because like they were like she was so serious, like whispering to me like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Anyway, have you ever let someone win an argument even if you knew that? I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure Eli.
Yeah. Well,
if Eli's wrong and we're arguing and I know that I'm right, I mean, isn't that just parenthood?
Yep.
Isn't parenthood just being like, okay, you're gonna find out the hard way, I guess.
I mean, I do it with the people that I train too.
Are you basically insinuating that you parent the people at work?
Pretty much. No, you laugh, but I do. I have people tell me like, oh, how do I do this? And I explain it to them, and they're like, no, this is how you're supposed to do it. Like using the systems that I've gone ahead and I've worked on the entire time, and I've reworked to make it work the way that I need it to work, so it works efficiently, and that way it makes sense for everyone.
Right.
And they argue with me, and they're like, no, that's not how you do this particular task. And I'm like, sure, go ahead and do it your way, and come back to me when you have a question.
Listen, life
and
has
10 minutes later,
consequences.
yeah, 10 minutes later, Eric, how do I do this? This is how you do it.
It's like, you should have just listened to me the first time, but
right.
I guess we had to wait for you to figure it out the hard way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that just sums up parenting. So that's going to be my answer is Eli eventually will argue with me and Eric about pretty much everything, I'm sure. And, you know, sometimes he'll listen and sometimes he won't. And when he doesn't, he's going to find out that...
What is he? He's a Pisces? Aquarius?
He's an Aquarius.
Or Aquarius?
Very rebellious.
Great. Lovely.
Love all my Aquariuses out there. But listen, I think it's great because he's an Aquarius, I'm an Aries, so he and I will meet. We'll have a meeting of the minds on like that strong will.
And here I am in my peaceful Virgo bubble.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you're our balance, and you'll make sure that we don't go toe to toe on everything. Like you'll be the peace in our life. I think he's going to be a great little boy, and I think he's going to be perfect. But still, this family is very strong-willed.
Yes.
And you can be stubborn too.
Oh, I know I am. About
very silly things. But he's got it. He's got the streak in him too. So yeah, that is the question of the day, and that is our very first W.I.P and chat back from break.
Back from outer space.
Why were we in outer space?
We just walked in to find that sad look on their face.
Oh my gosh.
Should have changed the stupid lock. Should have made you leave the key.
I know that you're not.
You two can't flag me because I'm not singing it.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine our first video back, we get a copyright strike because Eric sang.
I'm not singing it.
Whatever. Anyways, love you guys. Thank you so much for... The waving is killing me.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you had fun meeting baby Eli. Do you think you can prop him up just a little bit?
Can I? Oh, yeah.
Well, he's gonna get all mad.
What else is new?
Nothing. Oh, look at that man. This is what we made. This is what we've been baking for the last year.
9 months.
9 months. He almost made it. Week 38.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love him with our whole heart, and we can't wait to share the amazing parenthood journey with you through our eyes. It's going to be fun and adventurous, and I'm excited to take you guys along the journey as long as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Welcome to March.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.